We're awaiting some job data here coming through. Initial jobless claims week over week yet to populate. Non-farm productivity quarter over quarter. Preliminary number there for Q3 comes in 2.2%, a little bit lower than expected. 2.6 over on the right side there, expected there for that number. Initial jobless claims, meanwhile, 221,000, exactly in line with expectations. 221,000. Continuing claims a little bit higher, 1.89 million versus 1.86 million. Expected there. Jobless claims on the 4-week average to the upside, or downside, I should say, 227 and a quarter versus 237 there. Expected on that number. The big number coming out later on this afternoon from Fed Chair Powell. I mean, it's all known what's going to happen right now where you're going to get a quarter-point cut. 97% is the Fed Watch tool from the CME is forecasting right now that we get a quarter-point cut today. Going to be a lot about what happens at 2:30 during the press conference. What will he suggest going forward into the remainder of this year? I'm more excited about how many questions he's going to get regarding Donald Trump, because if you remember going back to the first term when they were together, they were not necessarily seeing eye to eye. Trump was not a fan of Powell. So more questions probably to come today on that consent. Just remember, coming up tomorrow as well, we get Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. So more inflation data tomorrow to wrap up the week. Yeah, Dara back in the seat this morning. Sharif with a couple days off. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you in this crazy day and week so far?
Yeah, lots to, good. Lots to discuss this morning. More earnings. Qualcomm with a pretty good report here to the upside. I mean, the forecast itself better than expected, 23.3%. Remember, for Lyft, we talked about a little bit yesterday with Mobileye, teaming up with Mobileye to work on autonomous driving. So we'll touch on Lyft coming up. Qualcomm, the big one as well. I mean, Tesla, what a day yesterday for Tesla.
Tesla had a big day yesterday, but it's not getting hit as hard to the downside as what you have with DJT and PHUN, were the two other big Trump plays. I know DJT has already hit SSR. I think fun. If it hasn't hit, it's pretty close. So we'll have to see if that, I guess, ramifications, that pullback continues throughout the session. Yeah,
holding top end of the range here for Elon Musk's Tesla today. We are downside a little bit here. This is where we closed. Downside a little bit here to the tune of about 0.3%. Guys, lots to consider here heading towards the Fed today. Good morning.
Good morning. And it's a little different today for the Fed because last time we had no idea what we were going to get. You know, it was close close to 50-50, whether we were going to get a quarter point or 50 point. This time, it's in the bag, and not one of those we're pretty sure about it. Like it's not one of those where it's a poll that tells us that it's going to go one way.
It is 99.1. What was? We looked at it.
Yeah, yesterday it was 99.1. It's probably 99.4 or 99.5. There's somewhere that I could make a Dallas Cowboys joke about the certainty, but I'm going to leave it alone because I actually feel bad that they lost Dak Prescott. But as good as Qualcomm was, and as much as Lyft was better, AAPL was the best. APP up 35%. App loving it. The puns, you just throw a million puns out there. This one is going to be it's obviously a big runner. Maybe not the best of volume, but you got to acknowledge some of the crazy earnings moves. As good as this was, yeah, if you want to look at the bad, just have a look at SolarEdge. That was disappointment. In terms of the bigger names, Arm did beat, but you know what? And we'll talk about this. When your valuation is really high, and it is bouncing already, and they did beat on the top and bottom. When your valuation is very high, 5% growth on revenue is probably not going to blow it out of the water for people. So you got to consider that. There's day two plays abound. Obviously, everything in the crypto space, and then Tesla was already shown triple top, not 290. Amazon broke the Bezos top, and Nvidia is Nvidia, which means that it's great. I don't know what else to say to. What do you even say about Nvidia at this point? I don't know.
I mean, I just think you say one word, and I think the one word would be long, and that would be about it. Yeah, I know. Look, we had it written down yesterday. We took the top out, then it fell back in. I think the same thing could happen even today. 146.50 is right there. I dare named a stock here that I think has a good chance today to make some moves. That's going to be Tesla. So I still think it's a long. I wrote down the trade that I really like is taking out this 290 that we bounced off there yesterday. But the thing is that we're down today 0.5%. So is it going to be a little bit of a Trump hangover? Yesterday was the best day since, I think it was April of 2020. The Dow Jones was up 1,500 points, up 3+%. Like, it's absolutely insane. So there could be a hangover coming back in today. And so if that happens, then yeah, Tesla down here, like, are we going to get this gift again down in and around 280? I wrote down here on the sticky note, which is going to be on in a second, like how lucky we'd be to get this level. So I think that's actually possible. You could get a nice flush back in, right? So here's the move, 281 up to 289. Then there's the flush and then the rip. So something similar to this could happen. We could even start with a downside move here today because we're red. But I really like the name. I really like Tesla here today. I think there's lots to look at. And then just, again, not to spoil everything here, but yeah, DJT, just to show you a chart of it, it's now down 14%. I mean, the thing is, again, forget about everything but the daily. I think that's the most important to look at because you're right into this level. And if we can break below this 27, we've had to pay for shorts. I think might have been $10 for 1,000 shares or something. I think it's a little bit more expensive today. But down there, breaking through 27, we'll try to confirm that. Breaking through $27 here could be a problem for DJT with the 50 period just under 25. So I'm looking somewhere around here to go long or where we could stop and then have a look. But for me today, going to have to be a short on DJT. So down 14%. Funware, cheaper name if you want to play a little bit less than that. And then we haven't looked at Rumble for the last couple of days, but that's a mover.
This volume's only... DJT's volume's so much better, and then funds even pretty good.
Shares unavailable for DJT.
Oh, I just went to get... I see one and a quarter...
accept the price, and then it came back and said, in your face. All right, well, we'll figure that out. So right now, I just had a problem getting some shares there.
Try again. I just got it.
Okay, yeah.
So 1.25 cents per share we have at Real Trading for DJT, which is creeping up.
Yeah, $10. So yeah, $12.50 per 1,000 shares.
Yeah, it was under that yesterday, and the day before that it was, I don't know, like it was almost free. Like last week it was really, really cheap.
But it makes sense, right? It's getting more expensive to borrow because
which makes tons of sense.
Of the movement, and everybody wants it, right? It's like yesterday, everybody wanted trade Palantir. Everybody, it's like everyone has the same watch lists, and for right now, DJT has to be on yours.
There was an interesting thing that happened, and just an aside when it comes to the amount that you pay for locates on stocks that you almost can't, almost nobody can short. When HKD was going absolutely ham. I don't know. I just got it accepted. Sometimes it's like that because they're like repricing it, or they might be changing the price.
Yeah, I guess the price is going up. Might be my guess.
Maybe. But when HKD, it had soaring it's up and up and up. The cost for the boros. Like I remember it was like a steady increase. And if you were to plot, if you just took it every single day and plotted the increase, there was a point at which it went like parabolic.
Right.
And then the point where it was like stupid parabolic, that was the top one HKD. Although that was the day that like nobody, I don't know a single person that would even consider paying the amount. I think that day you were paying $600 or $700 for 100 shares or something like that. So it was wild. So almost nobody was willing to pay it, but then that was the day that it ended up crashing. But that's not going to happen on DJT. But you got to pay for locates because the demand is certainly going higher. Sometimes that can be a prelude to a reversal because more people are kind of jammed into the short as it's going down.
Back to the desk.
Right, a few other things to consider here this morning. Crypto stocks right across the board under a little bit of pressure here after a big move yesterday. As we were talking about in the afternoon yesterday, all-time highs pretty much everywhere, including Bitcoin. There's IBIT right now, 1.8% downside for the ETF right now, just breaking lower as well. Trying to get back to 42.5, maybe where we were to start things off yesterday. Bit of a support area, but ton of volume going out at the end of the day for IBIT on the ETFs. This one also, Moderna. Yeah, better than expected results, and specifically pointing to COVID vaccine sales coming in higher than expectations. So bit of a move down right now. I was just looking for some comments here, potentially earnings call going through, but 7% here for mRNA.
7% for mRNA. That was certainly something I wasn't expecting, especially with the pre-market volume we were getting. So that could be an interesting one. I know there's a bit of a comment as well in some of those vaccine stocks yesterday with, I guess, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's expected to be involved in the health position, saying that he's not going after vaccines. So a bit of an interesting look. In terms of crypto, though, Coinbase was one of the biggest stocks to benefit from that rally. They closed up 31%, but they're down about 4% right now. So we'll have to see if these stocks can maintain that momentum.
I mean, if you add 30 and give back 4, I think 2 days, that's still pretty good.
Pretty solid.
The ETFs, guys, coming off here pretty good in pre-market trading.
The storm of money just comes raining down there as we see.
Healthy dip.
We've got Jerome coming through here in a minute. And I know we're not talking about the Fed. I wrote down on the sticky note, Fed Day.
Yay.
Who cares? Not me. Sorry about that, Jerome. Where's Powell?
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, poor guy.
He's not even in color. It's like
almost the
black
same,
and
it's
white.
almost the same. Let's see how that looks again. It's similar.
He always has.
There, he's always got the glasses.
Yeah,
looking down like
he
that.
always has
There
the
he is
glasses
again.
down.
Oh,
Like
Neil could not block him.
don't worry. I swatted some shots back in my day.
Oh.
Ask Zane. He knows.
That's Zane. You swatted a guy that's 4'5"? Okay, here we go. Hold on a second.
No, when I was in junior high, this is one of our high school buddies. His junior high used to do an announcement. So he was on the other team. We played at different schools. I didn't know him at the time, but he's now my boy. He's my high school. He was actually my university roommate. But the dude's school has announcements for the top 3 plays of the day in sports.
Right.
And the number 1 the next day was just Ask Zane. Because I swatted him so bad. Like he was like
Zane.
5'1".
Yeah,
and he came baseline and it was just like and yeah.
Yeah.
But every single time I get a chance to say something about it, I make sure I do.
We'll have to make sure to send the clip to Zane.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, no, I just want to say because this was compare the profits from yesterday. So I just want to show one thing here. Well, I want to show a couple things. So the first thing here would be look at all of the markets available here at Real Trading, first of all, and the opportunities to do that. You know, like not one market here. We're going to have, I'll talk about Blue Ocean in a minute, but there's not a US market in here, right? So, I mean, as you can look, and again, we'll leave out Blue Ocean, but the opportunity to trade outside and do things a little different. Yeah. So congratulations right there to that. And then we had the after hours trade, right? Neil and I have been talking about this probably for a couple of weeks. I know Neil definitely been mentioning it as well. And we talked about how traders were trading it last election, and now we have access into Blue Ocean. So that's going to be the after hours trading platform. Look at this, 20. So this was yesterday's numbers, right? So 22,000 there. This is all USD. 22,000. Then of course you have somebody trading the US markets. I mean, that's going to make perfect sense there as you get the trifecta. Then Blue Ocean again. Then Blue Ocean again. Then Blue Ocean again. Then Blue Ocean again. Then I'm not going to say it, but there it is again. So I just wanted to just say, again, congratulations to everybody there at Real Trading. This is why you should be part of what we're doing. I mean, being able to trade all these different markets, crypto markets as well, futures markets, and then over 50 plus markets worldwide. But it just gives you that opportunity to go in there. And then it was like, I know there's a lot of traders that traded, and I don't know the names, we just know the market. But I would think a name like Tesla, and I actually said this to Brendan earlier, was that I feel like the reason why a lot of traders made money on Blue Ocean was because the trade just kept going one way. It wasn't even really a trade. It was just get on board with it. Like the odds just kept getting better and better and better. And like if you started trading at 8, 9, 10 in the evening, then the odds just kept getting better and better. And like I was watching the casino. I don't know. I'm on the sports app. You could just log in and trade Blue Ocean. But like, you know, Bet365 had it as minus 300, minus 500, minus 700, minus 800, and to the point where it was minus 2,500 when I finally went to bed that Donald was going to take this one down. So at the end of the day, always opportunities, especially with the platform.
Yeah, they were limit up on DJT at one point. So like that, those numbers got made, and I heard from traders that they couldn't even trade the second part of the move on DJT. They would have made even more, but the stock was limit up. And Blue Ocean, like anything else, they have their own rules, and so DJT had moved enough that it went into a halt for them. So they still do that. But tremendous opportunities out there, and it doesn't happen like Blue Ocean. There might be like there was a Tesla event, there was last night. Really, you just got to take advantage of it when it's there. Like every 4 years, you get a little something. But yeah, what an unbelievable night that was. And then yesterday too. I mean, like, does not take anything away from the continuation yesterday.
Exactly. Today. That did.
Let's go.
Let's talk Chinese ADRs back to the upside today. These were by far the worst off yesterday on the Trump reaction trade. That said, we did initially sell off a little bit out of the gate here. This is XPeng, 7% right now to the upside. We sold off initially out of the gate, but then tried to hold back above 12 bucks for the remainder of the day. Not only did we close this gap, but we're back above 2 days ago levels as well. So the only thing I saw was this. Good news, you can master Xpeng's flying car in 3 hours. That sounds all kinds of safe.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at the flying car. I had seen something else on Chinese ADRs, which you can check there on our watch list. But basically, apparently, we had really strong exports coming out of China. It hit a 19-month high. So we had the Hang Seng and the CSI 300 both really strong on that. But yeah, I mean, flying cars and Xpeng definitely the more exciting of those stories, especially with Xpeng kind of outperforming the other Chinese EV stocks recently.
Just the thought of being in one of those is scary enough, let alone other people around you who have only had 3 hours worth of experience in said flying car pass.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
that headline.
Yeah, that's a pass. I mean, that's probably a pass for me. At least the stock is doing well today. Like, I don't know. I'm the flying car thing. I'm a little bit skeptical about it because, logically speaking, once everything goes autonomous, there's no need. The level of efficiency that you will have on the ground, where you have all the infrastructure, once you have autonomous, makes flying cars pointless to me. So I just don't. The Jetsons was amazing.
Flying Randy comes right in here.
Yo, what's crazy is
right on Jerome.
You can't even make this up.
Right on Jerome.
I found a good one too. Good man. We were thinking alike today, brother.
Good man. Good man.
Well,
how's it going?
See, that's why I always have one from the day before.
That's not a very flattering picture, is it?
That's better. Well, I mean,
no, it's not, Ramin.
It's a little
bit flattering picture.
It's a little better.
All right, Ramin, take that same picture. I'm coming over there. I'm going to take it of you. How's it going, Randy?
Could be worse.
Tesla is, almost breaking 300. It's at 290 right now. I don't know. It's down today, but let's see. I was just saying, this guy donated $250 million to the campaign. And, he can basically just pick up the phone and pretty much get whatever he wants done, I would assume. And then tariffs and everything that Trump's been talking about are going to be perfect for this guy because he's already building in the U.S. Not only that, I know he's building in China and across the world as well, but companies can get exempt from tariffs. And if any of them were going to get exempt from tariffs, thanks for the campaign money, my guy. Very interesting play. Well, we're already. I'm already playing, man. We're already the sandbox. We're already in that one.
Exactly.
The thing about the sandbox though is it's starting to turn into quicksand real quickly.
That's been quicksand for a while.
With that one, that was pretty good. Sandbox right into quicksand. Did you like that one, Randy? This is if you stepped in. So this is the quicksand right here. You step in right now at about $11, and because you feel like this is where the sand, ends, and all of a sudden you just start to sink below, Indiana Jones style. Professor Jones. I would love a coffee.
Always coffee time. That green charts reminds me of it's not even quicksand. It's like that mud in the Neverending Story that Artex died in.
It's Dr. Jones. That's
sad.
Dr. Jones.
Sad.
Man,
that's
sad. Look, I think we all would know which car company we should be in right now. Oh, you know which one?
Neo. No, just kidding.
Forget who it was. It might have been Mitch.
No.
Let me just check this out. He was talking, someone we had on, it could have been Mitch, because I was like, Toyota.
It was Mitch.
It was
Mitch. Yeah.
I just wanted to check in on the health of Toyota here, just to see if there was any sort of, all right, not much going on there. Yeah, because I remember looking at it and saying to myself, we never look at Toyota yet. With the Prius and everything, they have the hybrid situation and, obviously a well-sold car. I don't hear too much about Toyotas anymore, but at the end of the day, 190 break. That's still a minute away. I want to check on that, up 2%. Okay, let's get back to the desk.
A few things semiconductor related to consider today. We'll touch on both Qualcomm and ARM coming up, but this one, ARM, that's not ARM. That's AM. There's ARM. Trying to get back to the upside, just popped up on a scanner in front of me here. Through 140, there was some volume that went off there. But the initial move downside after the report yesterday, I haven't seen anything right now, but this thing just screaming back higher. There's been a few analysts with positive things to say this morning about ARM.
The numbers themselves are pretty positive, right? They did beat on earnings per share. They beat on sales, 5% increase year over year on revenue, and then royalty revenue up 23% year over year. They also, well, one thing I am seeing here, apparently free cash flow was negative 65 million per quarter, but I'm not really sure how that compares to estimates or previous quarters. That's worth noting, though. Negative cash flow, but generally seems like a pretty positive report there for ARM. I also found it interesting, both ARM and Qualcomm reporting at almost the same time on the same night, given that licensing snafu they've been up to lately.
Yeah, there's more analyst notes coming out currently on this, but that typically doesn't move the stock. But nice bounce here, guys, to start things off for ARM right now.
Yeah, it's ARM is. I was just saying to Sean, ARM's that stock that, you know, when you think it's going to give you the dip buy, it's not going to. It decides otherwise. Unless you were in it in the aftermarket, like that, the pullback into 135 was pretty much it. So pre and post, I guess, was the way to go here on ARM. The growth was, as I said earlier, the growth was like 5% on revenue. And they're obviously going to update the EPS, but it was just south of, before this report, it was just south of 500 per share, which, I mean, come on, like 500, it's 500 times earnings, just insane. 500 times earnings. It's always been the kind of thing that has to really, really grow into the valuation. And when that's the case, it needs to be perfect. So growth wasn't even the double digits. Now, they did have some strong metrics in there, which I think it's going to bounce on. And obviously, long term, you have so many institutions that are simply not selling this, and companies that are in that are not selling this. I mean, NVIDIA wanted to own them outright, and that was a big no by the FTC. One that I couldn't even disagree with that one. Like, at least sometimes they'll say no chance in the right case. But the 135 is gone. I'd like to think, I mean, VWAP is pretty far away as well, but there was a hold at 138, which could come into play here. I still think the 135 is the real key level to work off of, so just have to be patient and looking for it. And that's probably why NVIDIA and, to a lesser extent, Micron are going to be on my list today for chip names to play, because ARM is just so far away from the price. It would take something spectacular for it to get back down to a 135 bounce.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, hold on a second. ARM. So just real quickly here. Hey, Randy, what's going on? So we do have a new goal on here, but this is it should include Neil's name, because we're all going to be getting this. Fabian. This is Sean and Neil and Randy. We'll fix this.
It.
We'll be getting, exactly. Oh, yeah, I guess that's fine. Yeah, we'll have to go walk and get it, I guess, maybe, is the idea here, because Neil cannot. Must get brisket today. So if we get 30 super chats, then finally we'll do brisket. But I don't know, Randy. Everything seems to be involving you these days, so I don't think that you would oppose the brisket walk up to there. Exactly. Good. So I think.
How far is it?
Is it cold? It's not that cold, is it?
10-minute walk?
Yeah. 14-minute walk. It's not that far.
It's actually
We're going
not
to the
bad.
one up north.
It's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
But that's uphill, though. It's uphill. I walked to the restaurant the other day.
We're athletes. that walk uphill is nothing. Me and this guy will walk uphill both ways, Neil. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I'm going to be doing a lot of walking in Rome, so I probably need to practice.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, hopefully it's a brisket day.
It better be a brisket day.
You know.
We've been waiting to do this brisket day for, I think, every single Thursday or Friday for over a month now, and it's been kibosh. We just keep saying we'll do it, and then we don't do it. But
should be good.
Hopefully there's some brisket chip trades to lead to brisket day.
I like arm long. That's about it. I mean, Neil already went over the levels. Like, we're at 140 right here. I'm surprised at the move down. I think quarter was okay. I mean, came back in here. I like VWAP. Whenever we miss the gap, you play it back to VWAP. So the only problem is it's a down gap. So normally, when you're going short, you would think that you would wait, because it's already down so much, that you would wait for it to come back up into VWAP. But unfortunately, VWAP right now is down here. That's volume weighted average price. It's like the number one indicator that I'll use to trade with. That's already down here at 137 right now. So it's almost the opposite, where you're now gapping up and looking long on a stock that's down. So it doesn't have like the ultimate confidence for me, but that would be the play right now, down into 137. So that's going to change, because it's only it's 8:55. So we'll get, in the next half hour, this will probably creep up here somewhere. But I'm looking at 137 to 138. So that would be my target there for ARM. But let it settle down. We're going to have the imbalances come out, and that should do something.
We're just talking about UAA, guys. This is what the chart looks like right now. UAA with much better than expected numbers here. It looks like right across the board, and also raising their forecast going into next year as well. A number of positive analyst notes on this. Already up 23% here for Under Armour. There is a short float on this. It's not huge. Yeah, 15% according to Trade Ideas, but nice move here for UAA.
Yeah, it's a really nice move. I think especially their last report, or not super well received. But the one thing with UAA to be aware of here is they're still expecting a decline here for fiscal 2025 revenue. They're seeing it to decline at low double-digit percentage rate, including a 14 to 16% decline in North America. So UAA, that aspect of their guidance is negative, but their earnings per share guidance, they actually did increase there on a for earnings per share outlook for fiscal 2025. So mixed report there in terms of guidance, but well received, and with that 15% short float.
Yeah, if anyone's confused, UA and then UAA, just two different classes of shares. One's Class C, one's Class A, I believe, or B for UAA. But I mean, it's just go where the volume is. Same company.
Yeah, UAA does typically twice or close to twice the volume, something along those lines, and that's why you're going to trade. It's the same. It's like Google versus Google. You're always going to trade Google just because it does better volume. It doesn't really make a difference. I went to check to see if Nike was doing anything on that on sympathy. Not really, like 1% for them. But this is, and shockingly, like I will cop to the fact that I have not pulled up a chart of Under Armour definitely this year. I can't remember the last time I looked at this name, and I'm surprised. Like it was already making a nice little bottom here. Like it's a good hold. You have a triple bottom, a rounded bottom, held a 50 period, and then started breaking back out. It was actually a good-looking chart for a while. I really wish we had seen this before. On a weekly chart, like this hold of the 50, like that's a really good setup entry right here, like in the middle of September, where you have big bounce, hold of the 50, rejection underneath it. Once this week closes above confirmation, like you buy on this week, you're long at $8. Like that's a great looking round bottom setup where you don't have to guess the bottom. You're looking for a participation, a breakout off the bottom. This is exactly what Boeing is needing to do in a similar look. But yeah, now the 200 period is going to sit there on the weekly up here. I don't know that I want to chase, and the volume's not all that great on it either. 600,000 shares seems a little bit light for Under Armour, but it's a good looking trend. And it's a kind of setup for anyone that's always like, oh, you look at that stock that's bottom dipping or just continuing to bottom out like Rivian or like Boeing. That's the kind of setup that you want to look for. Let it show you the break, and then once it starts going and makes a reversal, you get a really good trend. And wow, that's happened really fast. Brisket is on the menu. Somehow we're already at 15, yeah, and by somehow I mean we have Adrian throwing down once again. So thank you, Adrian Petrus. We're already halfway there to the brisket day for sure. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you guys so much for the super chats in there. We do have fun with the brisket day. We also have this poll up. How does Powell feel before rate announcements? I just put bored. It's the same every time with the exception of last time because he always looks bored. But it looks like it's most people say stressed but looks calm. Yeah, whatever it is, he has the same look every single time. He's consistent. I'll give him that.
Yeah, so we were just talking about Under Armour there. I mean, there's I want to look at Nike. I mean, the thing about Nike is you have Hoka and you have so on and so forth. But yeah, look, still bad, right? I mean, we're seeing some Chinese names bounce to the upside here today. But again, just wondering about some importing and exporting there with the new president and what that might mean for a lot of goods that are made in China. And obviously with Nike being what Nike is and what they do, they're over there in China. So looking to buy some Nike maybe. We sold out of this position. We talked about that when it got that bump up there on the new CEO. We were buyers down here, and I think we could be buyers down here again. I think it might be worth waiting, though. The first 100 days of the presidency should be pretty interesting, but at the end of the day, the $72 mark could be something that's $4 away. So we'll wait to see. I think it's probably worth, buying again, a little small position there, see what winds up happening with Nike, but there it goes. Again, and it's funny, it's because it's like an iconic American brand, but it's going to have some Chinese headwinds to it. I know there's guys like Shakib and whatnot that are in the chat that have different opinions on China, and that's completely fine. I mean, I think China is going to be a great play. It's just you got to wait for levels, and I mean, who knows? Most of the time, when the trade seems obvious one way, it goes the other way. So
many times.
you know, it's very obvious that it could be overloaded to the short maybe for China, and then it pops back up. NIO, there's still billions of people over there able to buy those cars. It doesn't all have to surround what's happening in the United States, right? So anyways, that's going to be something interesting for the Chinese EV sector. Alibaba, Pinduoduo, things like that. I mean, I don't know. The TikTok thing sort of isn't going anywhere.
No.
You know, Meta could be a play on the new regime there. So a couple different things going on. Gold, I don't know. Didn't gold go down?
Yeah, gold was down yesterday. Which, look, obviously when it goes, everything just went risk on. And when you get certainty out of the election, when people weren't talking about sweep and absolute certainty and knowing who was going to win right away. When that happened, I mean, that's going to weigh on gold. That said, if you're still going to have deficits and you're still going to have a bunch of money printing, it might be interesting to buy some dips in gold in the upcoming days and weeks. I mean, as long as the policy doesn't really change, I mean, both sides were going to spend money out the wazoo and print money as far as I'm concerned. So I think that can still work on coming back in. But yeah, it might have been a missed opportunity. It was obvious that solar was going to go down. Everyone that in marijuana, but gold was one that maybe should have made sense. Well, second it was a sweep, it's like, oh shoot, the results are known and we don't have to stress about it. Gold pullback.
Okay. Yeah, there was a super chat here. We'll just, I mean, we have to get going because we have our thing to go through. MVMI. Did you trade this yesterday? I think he's asking you about it. Or is it NVMI? There's two symbols in here. Hold on a second. NVMI. Yeah, that would be it, I get. Nova Limited, is that what you're looking for? Or is the other one MVMI? Yeah, it must be this one. So I don't know anything about this Nova Limited here. So I'm not even sure what sector we're in, if this is what you're doing, but thank you for the super chat here with NVMI. Looks like, again, without knowing what sector we're talking about here, if this is the stock you're looking at, whenever I see something like this, we like that. Comes back into support, then takes out the 50 period and takes out. I don't have VWAP or anything on my daily chart because I don't use it, but nice little move up there. Just to look, I think this looks pretty healthy. That's 190 right there on the bottom for NVMI. So yeah, it looks like you got a good stock there, JJ. So thank you for the super chat, and yeah, let's keep it going. 18 super chats so far.
Anyone joining for the first time, we have free stuff for you. Just head down to the description of this video. There's a link, top link in the description is for the watch list. All you need is your email address. And then we just send you everything you need to know every single day in the pre-market before we come on at 8:30. All the stocks that are moving and why in one neat place. Miss Adara taking care of that every single day. Let's talk about Qualcomm, top of the list this morning. Better than expected report. There was no dip whatsoever. It was just straight higher. We're coming in a little bit here. I'm just looking around for any kind of comments or headlines or anything, but nothing to worry about as far as that is concerned that I can see. I mean, still 5.5% here for Qualcomm. Yeah,
it's a nice move up still here. And I mean, it was quite the report. They beat here in earnings per share. They beat on sales. They announced a $15 billion buyback program. So quite the hefty buyback program for QCOM. The one thing I was seeing that could potentially lead to a bit of a dip would be their guidance. To be clear, they generally beat guidance here, but for both their earnings per share and revenue guidance for the next quarter, the lower end actually did miss estimates. So they guided revenue between $10.5 billion and $11.3 billion versus $10.59 billion expected. Then earnings of $2.85 to $3.05 per share versus $2.86 expected. So the lower ends of both of those just missing guidance. Generally, though, it's a strong look, and that buyback certainly well received. We did get a price chart increase this morning from Evercore ISI. Just seeing a note here on Lucid for anyone paying attention to Lucid. You can now order the new Lucid Gravity. So that's the, I was just trying to find a picture here. That's that cool looking SUV, that concept. We talked about it a while back, but they've opened their website, I guess, for pre-orders, guys, for the Lucid Gravity SUV.
Oh, I got to get ready.
Exciting.
I actually want to check it out.
Oh, Lucid's up today. Good
yeah,
for
that's
them.
there. Yeah,
Good for them.
Gravity.
This would be the second update for Lucid since the disaster in the middle of October. I'd come up with a name for it, but it's no different from what's been normally going on for Lucid. But actually, you know, bit of a bottoming, I guess a bit of a bottoming tail. Maybe this has some life back in it. But like, what do you do when the stock is just a continued?
I mean, to me, this is a little bit.
I didn't like the way, if you saw it from the back, I didn't like it from the back.
Yeah.
There was another view of it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I don't really like it. To me, I don't. For me, it's not the thing. But it says here on Reuters, as I said, 80,000. So that's interesting. But this was from November of 2023, so I don't know if that's
maybe they've
updated.
maybe the look
Obviously,
is
it might be an
different.
updated picture on that one. But yeah, anyways, that's Lucid there.
Yeah,
So yeah, go ahead with Qualcomm.
I think with Qualcomm, Qualcomm's more of a watch and trade other chips for me today, because I think the last time we saw Qualcomm has done this before, where you have a nice move up on earnings, like a big move, and then it looks like it's starting to sell and then revert. And when it does this, I remember it dragging some things along with it the last time. So I want to be cautious that if Qualcomm can't hold the prior high, so you've gapped out and you're breaking and it's reversing a trend to the upside, everything is good about that. As long as it's holding about 180 or above the 180, I'm going to like my chip longs. You know, like I think NVIDIA is going to be good to go. I'm just a little cautious if this gives it back to go underneath 180 bucks. It would still be green, but I think it would be a little bit much of a trend reversal if it loses that price on the daily. And at that point, I would probably be much more cautious and being patient, waiting for dip buys in NVIDIA. Certainly, if that's happening, I wouldn't like a Micron break. And this is not that they're directly related, but it's more of a sentiment thing. Like Micron, as we were talking about in the afternoon show, was kind of headed toward this 115 break. I don't like that if Qualcomm and maybe even ARM, both of them start dipping, then I think that breakout takes a different tone. So it's more of a watch for Qualcomm for me in that 180 price level as opposed to a trade, because I just simply like the other names better.
Yeah, I mean, good report. I mean, we were sitting here yesterday, and when we realized that Qualcomm was reporting, it looked like it was setting up to break. And I mean, that's pretty much exactly what it did. It does break this 175 level, but then it comes ripping right back in. So yeah, a little bit nervous hands again with this name. I mean, it's falling from yesterday's high, but again, the algos get turned on, and sometimes we get these huge moves right off the open or the release, of the report. So again, we just went over the numbers. Looks like this is going to beat everywhere guide, buyback. I mean, we love the buyback underneath that. It's good when companies are beating on EPS and guiding forward and doing a buyback. It means that not only are they expanding their business, but they're also giving money back to shareholders in forms of buying shares. So I, like the stock. Again, this is one of those classic examples where there it is coming right back into VWAP and now wants to hang around it all morning. So we'll see if it can hold. Again, looks like that 180 is going to be a level. So we'll just wait to see if it holds that. We tipped up to 180 back on October 14th or so. Then we broke out yesterday. Hasn't really had a chance to test it again. So I feel like that's what it wants to do. It wants to test the 180, probably breaks, and then I would say break and then take. So Qualcomm's a name that has to be up on someone's screen today, because that's, I got to make some room for it. Because I think it could wind up breaking the 180, right, and coming back in and testing it here on the daily, and then taking it back to the upside, especially if the market does a little dip by there off the open. So yeah, I actually really like this stock. So down to like 178-ish. If we can get down into that area, I don't know. But remember, it's breaking it, then getting back up. So I like the 180 break back up if that winds up happening on a little bit of an early sell on Qualcomm. If not, I'd say leave it alone. I don't think we want to buy 190s or 188s or anything like that. So, all right, that's Qualcomm. We still got a lot to go. ARM, Lyft, DJT, Tesla, back to the desk.
There's that move we were talking about there at 9 o'clock for ARM. And here's why. Panasonic teaming up with ARM on some software software deal for design of automotive, or in the automotive sector going forward. So that was that bounce. It looks like off 135 back to 140 here now for ARM. Overall, as you were mentioning, numbers not bad for the earnings report. Downside maybe on the forecast, kind of a bit of hit or miss.
Yeah, they did reiterate here their forecast for fiscal 2024, and they did actually have a higher than expected EPS guide, so that's not a bad look. The only thing I'm saying is negative was their cash flow, so it's negative $65 million for the quarter. Not sure how that compares to estimates, but that is one negative number. They beat on earnings per share. They beat on sales, annualized contract value up 13% year over year, 5% year over year increase in revenue, and then royalty revenue up 23% year over year. So pretty strong report overall for ARM, though the stock still down about 3.5% even after the Panasonic bump.
Yeah, negative. We're getting back into some levels that came into play a couple days ago here for ARM, guys.
Yeah, I have it's a similar feeling to Qualcomm. This is more to do with what ARM already did as opposed to, what I like or don't like about it. Certainly in the aftermarket, we're talking 135, the bounce off. If it didn't hold that, the 200 period moving average was right there, 31 for support levels. So I was just thinking dip buy last night when this report came out and we're heading into the downside, but it's already rallied $5 off the bottom. So I don't know that I want to chase this one necessarily up here. It might just be a sit and wait. It is down 3 points. You're already at, yesterday everything rallied, so I think you look like a prior day close, like this area here underneath 141. It just seems like an obvious area that if I was ever, I'm not looking short, but if I was looking short, like where else would I be thinking for short? To be at 141. So why want to be long up here on this name? Like I look over at something like NVIDIA, which isn't on the list, so we can talk about it now. When we look at something like NVIDIA, you already know it made the breakout. It's done the consolidation off the top here. Prior the morning high turned into afternoon support at 140, 144 and a half, 145. Like to me, like you're $1 away from that price. That's a reasonable area that you can get a dip by and not have to wait for it to drop $5. On ARM. So I'm just going to be looking at NVIDIA instead.
Yeah, I have NVIDIA written down here as well, 146.50, the next all-time high level to take it out there on the sticky note. So you guys can have a quick look over there and we'll find out what's going on with the sticky note. But as far as ARM is concerned, okay, all right, so just real quick here. ARM to the downside. So what we were looking for here was a retracement back into VWAP. So there it comes back in. There's VWAP right there, 137 and change. So I think there's a possibility that we get that. This is one of those rare situations that we talked about where I want to stay long in this market, but at the same time, this stock, downside today when I don't think the report was that bad. Just maybe not as expected, not as robust business maybe, but we know that this is going to be a slow little grind. It's funny we don't talk about SoftBank anymore. Like I don't even know what that position is anymore for them. But 137, again, I like it. Fade it back into VWAP. I think it will hold. I think we get a dip early in the market. We may not. And if we don't, then that's fine by me. I would think a short could be in and around 146-ish area from yesterday. But again, the report looked okay, then it was bad, then it went back up, and now we're, into the flat area. Like, this at 4:30, the stock was flat. So I think there's a chance this thing gets back up to that area. So yeah, I like ARM, but I'd rather buy a dip down there to 137, a name that I think we should be involved in.
All right, let's go on to Lyft, coming back in a little bit here off the highs of 18, but holding some of these aftermarket levels from yesterday. This is what we were mentioning early on this morning, if you're with us in the first 30 minutes. This was announced yesterday, that deal with Mobileye and May Mobility to design some sort of robotaxi type solution for Lyft in response to what we heard from Tesla a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, it's very interesting too. They announced that the day before the earnings, or the day of the earnings report, the morning of the earnings report, and then we get a pretty solid report as well. They did beat here, so smaller than expected loss per share, beating on sales here. Their Q3 gross bookings grew by 16% year over year. Record active riders up 9% year over year. Record rides also up 16% year over year. They're also forecasting roughly 17% year over year growth for gross bookings. So this is a pretty strong report and strong guidance for LYFT.
You were saying you just added it to your phone and repertoire. I still don't have it on my phone. I think a lot of people use it more for maybe food delivery than anything else.
That's true too, but I think with food delivery as well, you've got Uber, you have DoorDash,
Yeah.
you've Skip the Dishes. Like there's Lyft, I would say is not gonna. I find Uber to be a bit more reliable as well.
Yeah, I haven't tried it, but yeah, I shows how much I use it anyway.
Have food delivery?
I don't think they have food delivery, but maybe they do. They did team up. It's Adara. They did just team up with DoorDash,
with DoorDash
in the United States. I don't know, maybe it's Skip the Dishes or something.
I don't know what it is. If it is here, I don't know what it is. I don't really use them.
I used to use it for price comparisons because most drivers will actually do both. They used to.
They use not as
to
much
Brendan's
anymore.
point, I haven't used Lyft in forever.
Since the beginning of COVID for me.
I'm part of Uber One and all that. They give the promotions and this and that. So
Can we acknowledge the Mobileye chart? Like I know the story was Lyft, but Mobileye, with the partnership with Mobileye has a very good rounded bottom, and it's starting to break itself out. So this has been a, let's call it beleaguered stock. There's my nice way of putting it, because if I zoom this chart out, it looks terrible. So it's making a nice rounded bottom and breaking out above $16 as we speak. Its volume's not great, so this is always more of a longer term or a swing type of idea. It's never really much of a day trade. Lyft, however, when it is going, has been a day trade, plenty of times. It seems a bit much to me. I know a lot of times when something is gapped and it's really far, it's past expectations and it's more than the expected move, I usually want to look for a continuation play. I don't have that feeling about Lyft for myself today. And when I saw this move get up into like right into 1850, when you think about that trend that this thing was on, it's getting into some zones here where it's going to be impossible not to think for a short. And ideally, my first thought was into the 19.5 to 20 level, and it never really got there. And now they're starting to stack it up here at the 17.5. But yeah, I'm going to be looking for a short trade on Lyft today. That's where it's at. My first thought was 19.5, and it's just so far away from that if it breaks out the high, it's going to do so without me, and I'm going to be looking for a potential fade. Interesting. I just saw something on level 2. Let me get this away from Palantir level 2 and just throw up Lyft for you guys. There's some interesting size here, oddly enough. You don't always see someone just pop 100,000 shares on the bid at 9:16 in the morning before the open when the stock is only done 1.8 million shares pre-market, but then there's size all over the place. You have some EdgeX in there, 1775. It's not all that normal when a stock is up that much that you have someone willing to jam, and it's starting to bounce off of 1730s or so, and I think that order is not hurting whatsoever. But Lyft, for me, is going to be a short if it gets into the 19.5 zone. If it breaks out that top, I'll look for one of those mean reversion type setups where it's strong trend up, look for the trend revert when it gets to the level, and play it back into VWAP. So just patience for me on Lyft. And speaking of that, I never want to assume. There we go. We do have locates on Lyft. Just want to make sure they're free locates. At Real Trading, 99 point whatever % of stocks, we can short them for free, but always want to make sure you check. So when the moment comes and your setup hits and you try to go short, you don't get rejected, which has happened to me live a few times. So this time we're ready.
All right, let's continue along here. DJT continuing or extending declines pre-market, almost 15% right now on top of what happened yesterday. It was a sell the news event, big time, right out of the gate yesterday. A couple of halts on the way down. We did stabilize around 35, 34.50, 35 for DJT on the way down, but $30 here this morning. What a turnaround.
Yeah, quite the turnaround there. And it's interesting, too, the volume is not to be scoffed at. This morning when I sat down for the watch list, I think we traded around 4 million shares. Currently, I'm seeing on Trade Ideas here, 9.38 million shares and counting traded pre-market for DJT. To the downside, looks like it's continued election reactions, but we know this has had volatility in the weeks leading up to the election. Looks like we do have some resistance around that $54 area we've run into a couple times. So let's see what happens here with DJT, but we know it can be shocking and it can reverse.
Yeah, I mean, definitely worth a watch. Sean, thoughts on Lyft there? I don't know if you got a chance to look at that.
yeah, I mean, I know I looked at Lyft. The problem with that is I'm in Uber, but no. So look, breakout there. We like the stock. I don't have a problem trying to trade this one. I just feel that it's too big of a move for what the release was. I like all the partnerships. I would be fading Lyft for sure. As far as DJT is concerned, we went there. We've already talked about this. We went and bought some shares to be able to short this name. I just feel it's an opportunity to be flexible with it. I don't know if it's going up or it's going down, but guess what? Now we have the president. There's going to be a peaceful transfer of power. Nobody really thought at next day we would have a president-elect, and we do have that. So right now, why is it down 15%? I just he's won. It should be up, but it's not. So right there, for me, the logic is already now we have to go back to fundamentals of the business. And I don't know enough about it to say this is a buy at any certain levels. I don't even know I'll have to look up. I don't assume it has a PE, right? I don't think it makes any money. So what's it trading on? 1,000 times sales. I will have to just, I don't know the numbers. So with that being said, I just have to look at the chart. And right now, it's a nice move to the downside. And we've broken through this 32 level. So I would say if you do get bumps up into 32, that's where we'd start to short it. I really do like the $34 level for sure. Palantir, what is that? Wendy bets on Palantir, AI? Keep up with $1. Is this a troll or something? What does that even mean?
Wendy's bets
okay.
on Palantir, yeah.
All right, well, all right, let's go find out what Alex Karp's favorite flavor of Frosty is.
It's just supply chain, guys. So they're going to use, or they have been using Palantir's AI to know and find where individual stores are running out of ice cream, I guess. So it's been in place. They're just extending the deal.
Good. Well, hopefully they come to. I mean, the Frosty by my place always runs out. So hopefully Alex Karp will implement this.
That never used to happen. I'm just
into Canada.
I hate when they don't.
Oh, $1 Frost. I mean, I don't know if they run. I mean,
you know what's happened.
The thing is that you want it so you don't want to get like near the end where it's a little bit too liquidy. I don't mean we're getting gross here, but yeah, they do have chocolate. They had vanilla. They did have a strawberry flavor as well, and they just had a. It's funny because we were traveling and we stopped and got food, and Gia wanted to get a chicken sandwich. So Wendy's has a better one than McDonald's, and those were the only two things there on the side of the road. So you know what I had? There was the Krabby Patty, which is SpongeBob. They did a collab with SpongeBob. I think it was like a Big Mac. I don't know what it was. It just had some sort of a tangy sauce on it. So ridiculous. But anyways, okay. So for me, DJT, again, it's kind of that same play. There's the 50-period moving average. That would be something that's generally a trend changer for me. So if we come to the screen here, Fabian, we'll just show the chart one more time. There's $32 on the sell side. That, to me, would be the fade area. We've paid for shorts. I don't think it's worth sitting in there right away. Let's just see what it does. The play for me has been off halts. I don't think we halted yesterday, did we? At all? There was maybe early, maybe?
Yeah,
was there?
well, I know because I took.
Oh, yeah, right off the open.
It was one up halt and I tried. No, there was an up.
Yeah, it must have been this one. It was probably up halted right here. Well, that would have worked. But anyways, at the end of the day, see, this is a down halt, the short. You probably took this short and maybe got stopped out because there was
there was an up halt at 9:45. It was only
okay,
one.
so there was
and it opened flat
right into there. Okay, so that's why you lost. Yeah. All right. So at the end of the day, if you're able to get in anywhere near these halt prices, like that first short worked, that second halt short worked. Again, the up halt, I guess, worked, but as Neil said, would have been hard to get out of, fades all the way back in. So yeah, as long as you're involved at these halts, then I think you want to take the way that it halts. Sometimes that's easy to say. Sometimes it's not. Like sometimes the halt will go the other way, like that did on that long. So just be careful there. I would say if it's a short, we take it. Be careful of the long until we find out more about the business.
I'm going to look for an SSR bounce on this at some point today, and it's just because it's near that $28 level on the daily. It's going to open down 10%, and obviously it made the big move yesterday. So you're going to get a couple of days where the stock is short sell restricted. And while it's down here, you've got the 50 period, the 23 level, 24 level, looks really good, and then the 28 level. So kind of like SMCI, downward trend into that support level and look for a mean reversion into VWAP. So that's going to be the look for me on DJT. It has to set itself up or I'm not going to be involved. And yeah, the good news, and I'm going to shout out to Real Trading on this one because when this opened after that halt, the reason it was like a 15-20 cent hit was because I just took the reopen price. And if it was going to indicate an open higher and had a big buy imbalance, I probably don't take the opening price fill. But the second it was showing that it was going to open at and just below, I'm just going to take it. And that's one of the reasons why we look at the tap value and where it's going to open. Because if it was indicating up here, I don't need to take that open price. But when it's halting up and going to open flat in the stock that you're looking for a rebound, it was an easy, maybe we should just get out of this one because I'm expecting it to gap up $1 and it's going to open, down 15 cents. I'll take that if it's not doing what I want.
All right, let's touch on Tesla. Darren and I just talking about not only how strong this thing was yesterday, but how impressive that overall, I guess, plan was for Elon Musk that pays off not only yesterday, but today as well. We're right here, right now. That was the high yesterday, 289, 290, being tested 0.2% positive, but pre-market just above that, I guess, 291. What can you say? It's impressive.
There's not much to say. There's not really any catalysts here, just, I guess, continued interest. And note, we have DJT and PHUN to the downside. TSLA still, I mean, vaguely up, but still up on the day. We're also above that multi-day, at least triple or quadruple top resistance area there of 265. So Tesla giving up this long-term resistance with that Trump pump.
Yeah, I went out on the highs yesterday right at the close, guys. So all kinds of relative strength as well.
I mean,
the imbalances just
the imbalances just came out. We'll have a look there quickly. But I mean, look, I like Tesla today. It's going to be one of my top plays here. I think it wants 300. If we're lucky enough to get 280, I think we go. I also think we go at 290. I like the momentum break here. I already said it. I mean, go check out the sticky note ASAP for a couple more trades. But yeah, it didn't break yesterday. That top was 289.50. We now have 5 minutes to go. I like that break through the long. I think it's going to go to $300. So I'm waiting for NVIDIA to break, and I'm waiting for Tesla to break. Those are the two names right here off the open. And then also, we don't have Palantir on here, but we're almost done. I like the Palantir break as well, but that's going to be a 56 long, so we'll see if that comes into play, or a 54 dip. So a couple different plays there for me on some Trump names. Not that Palantir is a Trump name, but we keep talking about defense and USA First. Well, that's going to be a Palantir
that makes
name.
it.
So yeah, so I like it. A huge move up there for Palantir, so that's a 56 break, but I like the Tesla break better than the Palantir one at 290.
Yeah, like that's I'm not taking the NVIDIA break, maybe because the dip ended up better than the breakout yesterday, so I'm going to go with the dip on NVIDIA. But the 290 break, triple top, let's go. If it does pull back, I do like the liquidity grab at 285. So I think like before we get the next $5 down, that's where I'll look. There was obviously, it was cruising. I chuckled there because the second we went to Tesla, you actually saw it pull back like $1 and change. And that might have had, oh, there isn't one. Okay, well, whatever. I thought there might have been an imbalance there. SMCI with an early imbalance of sell 900,000, and that's pretty much it. I don't think anyone cares about a NEO imbalance of 200,000 shares, and FCell is a penny stock, so $1 million on that is completely insignificant. But it is SMCI with a sell imbalance. I thought maybe Tesla had one, and that's why you had that pullback. So if we get a chance, and 285 sitting out there on a dip, otherwise we're going 290 breakout on TSLA, super strong one, obviously, as it's going. Oh, the other name I wanted to get to is, we have 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, we have a lot of time.
Yeah, we're actually not even rushed. So the trend on SoFi of all of the buying above $12 occurs in the pre-market. This is now day 2 of this. So on earnings, SoFi famously got to $11.99 and plunged $2. It's been recovering ever since. Yesterday, it was in the pre-market again above the $12 level, looking like it was going to be cruising, and then fail back underneath. You now have resistance at 12, and did a break again today. And this is why I say the importance is buyers after 9:30 for once, and then I think SoFi can go. So I wait for 9:30, and if it's holding above 12, looking long on SoFi. But it's just this pattern is unbreakable, it seems. Like the buyers just stop at the open, and when that reverses, I think SoFi's got another leg in it. Was it?
So I wrote down, yeah, NVIDIA's breaking right now. I wrote down Moderna, $55. And you guys, guess what? Like we wrote this down much before 55 even came into play there. So 8:30, like, you know, we had the sticky note out. There it goes, $55, came right back in, just bounced off of it, 55. So we're bidding that 55. All right, so that's going to be there. NVIDIA just broke, but it didn't. I'm not taking breaks in the pre-market. So it broke and came back in, but I'm just letting you guys know, like, that's why I'm not in it right now, because it broke in the pre. So I'm going to wait for it now. I mean, if it breaks within the first 10 seconds like it's going to, I guess then I'll take it. But all right, there's Tesla right there. Okay, let's just talk about NVIDIA quickly, because if we do get into this, then we've already have the 50-period moving averages down here at 146. So that might be an early place to get out. An early dip buy opportunity is 145.75. So I'm going to put that out right now just in case that comes in. We'll take a few shares down there if we do dip back in somewhere into this VWAP. So we'll do a little bit of dancing there if we come back in, but definitely not committing a lot of shares to any trade early. The market's up nicely, that's for sure. We just bounced off 21,000. That's nice.
Yeah, buddy.
So we're happy with that one. but at the same time, pretty cautious a little bit here off the open. Just a quick look at the imbalances as we sort of mentioned them, but didn't really cover them too much. CCL, NEO, those are both bids there. There's Palantir right here at the bottom. Oops, right there as a bid. So we'll watch out for that as well. So yeah, ready to go. We only have less than, oh, I just thought you just hit the button.
No, I'm just getting ready.
20 seconds left. Here's Palantir. Looks like it wants to break 56 as well, stat. Oh man, as Drake says. We're getting ready here to go because this is going to be another one coming through. All right, let's get ready to go. I'm going to put that bid in to break that 156. It looks like it wants to do it anyway.
This bell brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience, revolutionizing brain health. Ring it for us there. Fabian on the bell and the ones and twos. He jumps back and forth and does a little bit of everything.
Breaks right at the open.
What?
No, it's all good. Go.
Oh, okay.
Keep going. It just broke 56, but it didn't.
So Tesla Tesla's 50 cents away. It's about to break. We're going to break any second now on Tesla. I hope I'm not jinxing it. 289.96 is now the high of the day on Tesla. No break yet. Oh, come on, Tesla, go. NVIDIA already broke out.
Yeah, we're long NVIDIA, we're long Palantir. They're both are not working, so hey, welcome to the show.
Come on, Tesla.
No, so right now, NVIDIA's trying to go. So we're long NVIDIA. This is a play that we liked. If we can get like 20 cents or so on the first little bit, then we'll try that. But here's a little bit of a fade back in for NVIDIA. We're going to probably give this one a little bit lower. I mean, we've seen dips. We talked about that yesterday, and we lost early on a nasty dip, right? So if this breaks 145, then we're gone out of that. We will average a little bit into NVIDIA back in. So we'll wait. It doesn't look like the break early wants to work. Oh, no, what?
What's on now?
Oh, NVIDIA? It's okay. Don't worry about it.
SoFi again?
You want me to go long? More shares, NVIDIA? Okay, we got that for you. All right. So Moderna comes into 55. So far, not so good on some of these dip buy opportunities, but we'll wait for Moderna. We like that 55 on that report. Looking for 54 break. We'll give this one about $1. Slippage could be something, maybe a little bit more than $1. All right, come on, NVIDIA. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA is looking pretty strong. Okay, here VWAP is starting to hold on Tesla. Tesla obviously didn't break out. It got to 96 or something like that without a break. I need to see it hold on to VWAP before. Yeah, that's a hefty turn on Tesla.
Let's go.
Yeah, hefty turn on Tesla. I'm just going to back off. I can cancel that order at least
Tesla
for the time being.
Tesla didn't break or what?
No, it absolutely did not break on Tesla.
Yikes.
So it's headed right back into the downside.
But NVIDIA's
patience is patience. I guess that's the way to go.
Look,
SoFi is stacking the 12 level. So I want it only above 12 after the open, which obviously it's not there just yet. So any break, any second now is going to go on SoFi.
Yo, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's go. Your boy is doing it again with the face slapper. I almost went into Ric Flair mode, which I don't want to say because there's some things in there. All right, here we go. It's nice. 147. Bang. There's 55 cents right now as we floss that one off, and we're getting ready to dance. Are we or what? 155 coming through there for Moderna. Sorry, 55 bucks. We're long Moderna, $55 right now. That's going to be a good one too. Let's get something out here for 50 cents on mRNA if we're able to. And oh boy, did Alex Karp come to save the day or not? Here comes our boy one more time. It's Palantir. Neil, we're ringing the Reggies. We're lighting the lamp. It's happening again. Is this an everyday occurrence or what? Like every single day we're coming in here and people are like, can this happen again? Well, it's happening again. NVIDIA right now trying to go look at those outs. 147.08. Okay, we'll take that. Moderna trying to make a little bit of move back, but guess what? We did it again. A couple more outs there for Moderna. Give it to the downside. Give it some space. mRNA, Palantir, NVIDIA. That was a good run up, but I mean, now we're starting to fall back in. Watch out for the market. Let's stay focused here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stay patient. The market's still going upside. But Tesla it continues to drop. It's actually down 3. Like I'm looking at Tesla and it's not looking good, but everything else in the market is absolutely flying. ARM is absolutely gone. Meta is absolutely gone. When we're talking about the crypto names, Mara, which we wanted a dip in Mara, but it's nowhere near those dip prices. Now holding on to VWAP. SoFi didn't break out either. So I guess all I can do is try to be patient. Like we wanted SoFi, we wanted Tesla. Tesla's not going. I was looking dip on NVIDIA. I'm glad you got that breakout, but I'm close to canceling the dips, obviously, on NVIDIA at this point because you got to look to prior high or maybe, no, prior high at least looks like it's going to be the play in here. Got to wait for that or VWAP, but patience is going to have to be the play for me. I'm not going to rush in anything just yet. This market is gone, and we wanted some dips. But the dips came on the wrong names because I wasn't looking dip buy till 85 on Tesla, and it's not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, like I said, man, lighting lamps, doing all this kind of stuff all day here. So let's, if we're ready for Adair, we can go there. I don't know if there was a call there or not. But yeah, so far so good. All right. Let's do this. I mean, we're up 70 cents down the money on NVIDIA, waiting for Palantir to go. What's up, eh?
Keep an eye on WBT here. Warner Brothers up about 8.5%. They had earnings here missing on sales, but beating here on GAAP earnings per share, actually with an unexpected profit. They also said they're going to be looking to launch their Max streaming service in 7 Asian markets and also looking to launch in Australia. Said they have room to increase their prices as well. So pretty strong, or at least well-received report here from Warner Brothers Discovery, WBD, guys.
Warner Brothers. All right, attention. We're just in 3 names. We're going to look to get into some more. All right, so this Palantir, just a little dip buy. We'll see if we can keep going upside. I don't know why that dripped like that. Palantir is giving me some kind of worries, though, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to get out of another piece right now on NVIDIA. We did have a nice run up. We just took advantage of that again north of 147. So more outs there. I'm going to take another piece here at 80s if we can get it. There it is. We'll take that out, and now we'll wait to see what's going on with this name. But yeah, so far so good here in the space, but want to be able to try to hold on to some of these, so we're going to try to do that. Palantir I'm giving to 54. If we can break, we even wrote down on our note that we don't want to be stubborn. So if this comes back in, we'll buy some dips down there, just making sure that we have those bids ready to go down in, not necessarily VWAP, more down here near the 200 period, like 55 50s, 55 40s. That's where we want to dip by for Palantir. So that's what I'm going to look at right now, and then just continue to watch NVIDIA go. Ramin, you wanted this to go upside. What? I mean, I stopped selling for you. Should I sell now? I'm going to sell now, though, Ramin. We're going to start to get a little bit more out here as we are. There it is. And again, another 70 cents in the money now for NVIDIA as the king has come back again one more time. We love the stock. This is actually, I looked over, this is number 2 now in the holding, still is Google, but this one continues to rip higher, man. NVIDIA.
Speaking of Google.
Good trade. Yeah, what's going on with Goog?
Okay, let me go to SoFi first. SoFi finally broke 12. This is the first time it's actually done something above this price in the last couple of days since earnings. So it made the break. It immediately, someone slapped a bid at 12 instantly, so I just added at ones. Once it breaks 10, I will still have 2/3 of the position and look for a move into the quarters. SoFi, it's not rarefied air. It was at 12.50 in the aftermarket one day. No, Google. And I'm only going to mention this because it is on the way to $180, and you brought it up.
Boom.
$180 is a big level. That's why I just showed the daily chart. But I still want a piece of the party on NVIDIA. But look what's happening in Tesla. No break. It was, I mean, that was a heck of a sell opportunity at 290 if you could have it. But it's pretty close to that 285 first target zone for the dip buy. And it's falling like an absolute rock right now on Tesla.
Is it?
Gonna move the target. I'm gonna have to move target maybe to 147 on the next available dip. NVIDIA is absolutely flying at this point. But Tesla, it's not looking good for Tesla right now. Pretty much everything is flying without it.
Yeah, we're taking out some more of NVIDIA right now. This is going to be your first dollar club of the day. I can't promise you that it'll be the last, but we'll take it for right now. Would love to see if Palantir can get going up into that upside. I don't know about that one, so we'll wait to see if we can get some love there for PLTR back upside. So our Moderna trade, what? I thought we had a, oh yeah, my script failed at 50. So we already got, so we have a smaller piece, which is why I'm like, what? Our script failed breaking through there. So I don't know what happened. We should have got out there on the break of 53.50 is what we were looking for there. So thankfully we don't have, you know, the biggest of pieces on right now, but doesn't make it that this is right. So we're going to get out here as it starts to come back up a little bit on Moderna. We should have got out on this break. That's what we wanted. So to be in this still is not very responsible. So let's make our way out of this name here, Moderna. All right, so NVIDIA still making highs. All right, let's go over to Adara.
Just be aware of NOVA. Sonova was one of the many solar names that got hit pretty hard yesterday with the Trump election. Generally, the implication is that the Republican Party is going to be a little bit negative here for these solar names in the solar sector. NOVA getting a downgrade here to neutral from Guggenheim this morning, but up about 10% right now. There is a 30% short float to be aware of for NOVA, Sonova, guys.
Yeah, we got that question on.
Wow, Amazon.
About tip name. Is Amazon just ripping up? And we're lucky enough to have.
I love Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. We're lucky enough to have NVIDIA on right now, but Amazon, do you want to talk about that? I'm not even.
No, I'm going to go to, like, quick. So SoFi, as I said, we're going to hang on to 2/3 of it for a break at the pre-market high. That's what it looks like. And then Amazon is going alongside Alphabet, the market, everything, as it's now above 209. I think this is, like, dip buys, you can forget about it. Maybe VWAP or something like that for this, but my intention is going to be on NVIDIA on the dip and whatever the next available is. That DXYZ, the Destiny, what's it called again? The Destiny something. DXYZ is halted. It's not Destiny's Child. It's the.
Say my name.
No, they're the ones that hold SpaceX. That's what I was trying to figure it. It's halted to the upside now. What an unbelievable move. This was like a Trump sympathy play because obviously they hold some SpaceX pre-IPO. So it's halted to the upside. Volume's actually pretty good. This could be a big runner, continuation play from yesterday. The tap is flat, but it's in New York. Yeah, there's no update on the tap, so not really sure what to tell you where it's going to open up. I just wanted to get that one to you. What an absolute mover that was yesterday. Tesla is now back and headed for that 290.
Okay. We still have that 290 break ready to go. We're absolutely el fuego right now. I mean, Palantir is lighting it up for us right now for our account anyways. As this continues to go higher, I mean, we really like this name. We're involved, obviously, in this name in our own PA, but we're also involved right now in the name. And we've been involved in this name for a minute. We've been talking about Palantir with you guys for a very, very long time. And there it goes, another fill up at that high side right there of 56.35. So, wowee, Palantir continues to go. I mean, I said that maybe we wouldn't have another Dollar Club winner. We had a Dollar Club loser on this one, though. But again, we'll flush ourselves down the toilet. It was an idea that we had. I'm not going to hate on it, but, you know, did not work out. So we get out, and that's what Moderna was today for us. So just made a move up. We still have a little piece left. I said that we missed that stop right here. It just came back up into that stop level, so potentially a good spot. All right, officially that Dollar Club now. We'll take 53s if we can get it now on NVIDIA. So that's what we're going to do right here, and then just hope for the best now on Moderna. Maybe we do get a little bit of a move higher there. Probably more outs on Palantir, but I'd like to see this one work a little bit more, so we'll give it that chance to do exactly that now to the upside for Palantir. And then, yeah, Moderna, not good, man. That was not the greatest call. I thought on earnings we had a chance to break out and hold this. The fact that we didn't down here on the daily means that's a no-go. So we should have been out of that one. And unfortunately, as we said, missed the stop there. So here comes Moderna and here comes Tesla.
Tesla again, 90, again, got right to 289, 99.
I'm still here, though, if it breaks.
And it's just sitting there. It's not even that many shares on the offer, like compared to what we saw in NVIDIA the other day. The short scalpers are...
Look at NVIDIA.
They're just winning right now. Every time it gets to that 9, look at it again, if you just scalp the short. But I think it puts in a higher, if it can put in a higher low, this time we'll go VWAP hunting. It never got down underneath that 289. So if we don't get the break, going dip into VWAP, but the break is still imminent. It's any second now. You're trading way too close to it and holding the bid a little bit better than it did last time. So I'm expecting that Tesla's going to make that breakout any second. Google is close to VWAP. But if the break happens on Tesla, that would be the preference. Obviously, we've had the order and looking for it all morning long. And if VWAP comes in, that's where I'm going to look for a dip buy if once again we fail this break. Market screaming, but there are some pullbacks looming in here. Alphabet, one of them, as you can see, Tesla starting to pull back. Alphabet's getting really close to VWAP. It'll be there in almost any second now. And of course, we're at that DXYZ open back up and still going. They love SpaceX, apparently.
I didn't even realize Randy brought this coffee. Thank you, Randy, for that.
I almost forgot about it.
So distracted.
Adara?
BROS, another earnings name here. So many here, day one earnings names. Dutch Bros up about 38% at day's highs. They beat on earnings per share. They beat on sales. They raised their fiscal 2024 guidance to the upside there. So good look for BROS with an 11.3% short float, guys.
Yeah, I do like those guys. They're Dutch Bros, their coffee. So we don't have any up here. I actually wanted to go. I think there's, I don't even think they're in upstate New York. I didn't see any Bros over there. I was just looking at this NVIDIA trade. Sorry, first of all, Palantir, more outs there. Palantir is the one dropping down, not NVIDIA. And I just took some more out on the top side there. The market's really ripping. I mean, we're up another 1%, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And let's just keep the party going. Moderna, we're still in that one. Palantir now going red. What's up with that? Palantir coming back in. So we're out of already more than half, way more than half of this trade, but doesn't mean it's a profitable one. We got hit there. We got a little bit out when that broke through 55 and change. But here it comes right back into this level.
Down.
Bitcoin's coming down. I'm going to take the opportunity to buy a little bit right now on this dip. We do have our targets, though. So my Palantir, I'm not necessarily willing to die on the sword here, but I was going to hold this until a 55 break for Palantir. So we want to get some more. My next bid, I got maybe a little stubborn there, a little bit too early maybe on this first bid, but 55.20s into here, 55.30, 55.25, this bottom is where we want to buy it. And then if we break this low here of 90 or so, then we're going to get out of Palantir. I'm actually going to switch that now that I see where this low is. That low is 80. Yeah.
Before we go to Adara,
85.
some of the I guess we'll call them the Trump names. They're starting to pull back a little bit heavier. Tesla had bounced off of VWAP and had gotten back to 288.5. I was able to get a third out there, but now it's retesting VWAP instantly. Bitcoin is breaking the low of the day, so you got to watch out for a bit of a reversion and maybe the leaders in the Trump space. So that's why I took some out. I'm going to take a little more out in front of 89 and all out in front of 90 because the 90 break would still be a separate trade on Tesla. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye on EBS here, Emergent Bio Solutions. This is one of those Mpox-related names. They have a short float of about 15%. This morning, they announced here that they have evaluated the safety and efficacy of its new clinical trial for treating Mpox in Africa. Looks like this treatment was received positively there, and apparently there's going to be another clinical trial here in Africa under the Center for Disease Control. So good look here for EBS with some updates for its Mpox treatment, guys.
Nice Mpox treatment.
MPZ.
Okay, so one name that we didn't even look at was Lyft yet, and to see if there was going to be any good trades happening there on Lyft. All right, so NVIDIA is still pulling back a little bit. We know our sort of our trade plan there for Palantir, and then we'll just wait for everything else after that. What's going on now?
Oh, no, it's not bad. ARM's going to hit 150.
Oh, but,
no, it's good. It's we're not in
trade.
ARM. It's just like ARM just broke the you know what out of it. So I'll get to Tesla in a second. ARM's only up 1.7, but you have to remember they were down. They don't let you dip buy this stock. It just feels like that's always the case. I say that because I always miss it in the long term and have like 1/10 of what I wanted. So 150 is going to be looming here. Anytime you have a reversal like this, it's going to catch people off guard, and this could really fly. As we're talking about Bitcoin and Tesla, it did end up holding VWAP. I just got to fill it in front of 89, so it hasn't broken back out above 289. You still have a lower high $1 underneath that breakout price. So I'm still thinking cover at 290 and then breakout at 290. Just have it be two separate worlds, VWAP and $290 on
right,
Tesla. NVIDIA is starting to pull. This is like the first actual pullback on NVIDIA. There hasn't been a red candle, so I mean this would be it. Let's see if it can get to VWAP, but 147 is going to sit out there as well. Market's starting to pull back in here. The NASDAQ's still up 0.8, but we're starting to get a little bit of a dip in the overall markets. Could get a chance to get into NVIDIA, but I'd like to see it curl first. Don't want to rush into it.
Yep.
Like to see these things hold a little bit. But ARM, that I guess you could have rushed into. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, good look there on, as you talked about Tesla there, sort of making that comeback a little bit back in there. So we'll have to watch out for some Tesla action coming through there momentarily. All right, so Palantir, we do get that dip by opportunity right now. So we did take some of it. We did get a little bit out there just to give us a little bit of relief on this play. Not sure exactly, again, never sure where anything is going, but we're going to just play it by ear and see if we can't grab that back to the upside. We already do have our targets. Unfortunately, if it drips down there, that will be about a 50-cent hit here. So that's why I want to get a little bit lighter. We haven't been like lighting the lamp or anything today on a lot of these longs. NVIDIA's been a great one. We're now out of about 80%, maybe a little bit more than that on NVIDIA. So we are waiting for dip buys. Don't know if they come through. Now it's time just to hold on and see what happens to Palantir. So we talk about prior bar closings and things like that. I told you, we're trying to change a little bit. So that would be, we're going long. So, you know, target to get back up there is 56.10s. Like that's that top. I don't know if it's going to get to that. I think we could be wrong. That's 56.60 is where we sort of started with here. Sorry, 55.60. I'm already trying to be wrong down here. So that's about 40, 50 cents. So yeah, I feel like targets up in and around 56, you know, 55.80 where VWAP is that we just touched before is something to look at. So maybe that'll be something to hold on to right now as we continue to look for some more opportunities. What's up, Adara?
Another earnings play and watch here. This one's still strong. APP, AAPL in here up about 48% at day's highs. For context here, this was trading around 170 as of yesterday's close. Today, just touching 250. They beat on earnings per share and sales estimates. They authorized a $2 billion buyback program, and we've got about 11.1% short float for APP, guys.
That stock is absolutely nuts.
NVIDIA.
So there were no halts on DJT, but it did make a reversal through 30. It's obviously SSR because it's down 17%, so it just made a reversal through the $30 level. I kind of missed it looking for the dip buy in NVIDIA, which I had prioritized, but as long as it holds a higher low at 30, going to look for an entry on that. Just throwing it up on another level too. If you see it pop in, that means it gave me an actual price down closer to that 30 level. NVIDIA just made a hold of 147. Okay, I'm jinxing everything. Hold of 147 and then made a big reversal just now. Was trying to get to the 75. Was looking for it to put in a green candle on the 3. Still hasn't done so. So either we get one here and I can go long in front of 47, or we wait for VWAP. Tesla's still holding above 88, so that's a good sign, but there's no test of that 90 level just yet. Still think we can break out that 90 on Tesla. Could be a big one. And ARM is absolutely flying. SoFi has not, just to recap on SoFi, it hasn't done much of anything. I took out some underneath the $12 level, held on to a piece, and now it's right back above. So now that it's holding, I'm just going to add back in and play to the high exactly like we were doing before. So not much of a change in SoFi. It's basically a 12-cent range on the day if it takes out the top. I don't know if I want to add to that because I feel like if it's taking out the top, my priority is going to be Tesla and NVIDIA. So probably not going to add to SoFi on a break, but we'll take some breakouts here on Tesla if we can get it. Still holding higher, about $1 in the money, but it cannot get through this 289. It's just, there's a brick wall at 89s.
Nice. Like
for now.
Plays right there. Okay, just real quickly on what I'm trying to do here. We got more Palantir. So this is really the only stock that I'm somewhat concerned with right now. Obviously, as we sit here and struggle with it, we're concerned with it. So let's just wait to see where it goes. I mean, I have the targets. I'm pretty confident in where we are with these levels. So let's just wait to see if it breaks below, we'll get out. We have been doing some of that damage control right now on getting upside plays as it breaks higher. So that's sort of what I'm looking at right now with this name, is just to try to see if we can get some kind of, you know, momentum here in Palantir. And, you know, this is one of the ones where you could look back and be like, man, I can't believe we had 55. So let's give it a shot, right? I mean, there's another out for us right there. Moderna's still down $1. We don't have many shares here, so we're kind of like ho-humming this one a little bit. Obviously, a trade is a trade, and we never want to take them without too much seriousness, but we're out of now 70% of this trade, and we never had too many shares to begin with. We took out some nice moves there for 50 cents, then 80 cents, then lost $1.50 or so on, no, sorry, that's 55. Yeah, $2.50 or so on that, which sucked. And then we're holding a little bit piece now, but it's just not, it's really just a piece for the dream, and even that dream is becoming nightmarish. All right, so here comes Palantir. We're gonna be pennies away from getting stopped out, but you know what? Again, where's my stop out? Breaking through 84s. Okay, so we're very, very close to that happening right now. And we'll throw our hands up. We tried this one. We liked it. It didn't work today. Palantir. Okay, I'm going to take advantage of this little move up, get some out here because it just simply did not work down there. We'll take some more out. Okay, we got some more out there. So that was actually a little bit of a relief there to get some out on that bump back up. But it looks like we'll get stopped out here on PLTR. Sorry about that one.
In a couple,
did not work today.
At 10 o'clock, we're going to have some numbers come through. We have 5 or 6 minutes till that happens. I don't want to take any breakouts when we have a number coming up. But I just want to quickly go to DJT. It's going to be hard to see because of that candle. I'll get rid of it when I get a chance. So there is your bounce off at 30. There is your consolidation candle. So long in front of it at the quarter mark, out underneath this prior bar candle, which is 30.13. VWAP sits at 60. So I am taking most of it out in front of VWAP. I'll hang on to some for the highs above 31 even. So if we get a print above 31, I want to make sure we ring the register on the way to VWAP. Ideally, could have played it right off the 30 level. It's a little bit later of an entry, so tighter of a stop over there. Tesla's still holding, but holding is not enough. You got to do more than just hold, Tesla. You got to break. It's not like it's another lower high in here for Tesla. I'm going to tighten the stop out. I feel like if Tesla loses it here, you could be in a little bit of trouble. NVIDIA, while that was happening, it doesn't get into VWAP on NVIDIA, so I don't think we're going to get that shot at VWAP on NVIDIA. And Amazon, that's gone. Yeah. Amazon was El Fuego, got through $210. So you can, if you were thinking about things like 205 and 06, which candidly I was at one point this morning, you can throw those all out the window, barring abject disaster. So I'm looking at this VWAP here and saying if we can join that trend, that's going to have to be it. So patience is going to have to play. DJT goes to VWAP and already starting to pull back. So that little retracement play for an SSR name gets to VWAP, and as usual, it finds a resistance spot. So now it can't turn into a loser, but if we lose that prior bar, we're jumping out. As simple as that. Jamie says, can we talk about coin? Of course, yes, we can. Of course we can. Coinbase back after Bitcoin's bounce.
Yes, we can.
It's back above VWAP, still down 3%. Keep in mind, Coinbase was up like 30 points yesterday. So like this is kind of a nothing burger kind of move. It's a very inside in the morning, and compared to yesterday, it hasn't really done a heck of a lot. So I think you got to be patient. The 250 looks like it could be tremendous, but it's got to get there. You're not having nearly as much of a move, but remember what it did early yesterday. Pop, drop, and then when it made the bounce and confirmed, it was just on fire the rest of the day. So you've got the pop, you've got the drop. Once it held VWAP before, it was gangbusters.
Pop, drop, and VWAP.
Shut them down, open up shop is usually next.
Pop,
I was looking at Mara for a red to green story, but it's not doing anything either. So Coinbase holding VWAP could be the one. I do like that look.
We had IBIT down there at 42. Bitcoin still suffering in around 75. Mara down 3 points. There's actually not that much, 3%. There's actually not that much happening right now, to be honest with you. So Palantir comes out, and I almost put an order in. So look, I mean, it was actually okay because we were up on it and we were like really happy. We were up 70 or 80 cents at one point. Obviously thought that the trade was going to continue, and we just stuck with our plan. I thought, we liked this name, thought it was going to be one to continue with. It was more maybe this last reload we could have got away from, maybe. But at the end of the day, it breaks that pre-market low, and that's fine. We want to get out of it. Just a little disappointed that we didn't reverse it, to be honest with you, into that short. So now I feel like I got to wait. Like these outs right there almost should have been reverses because we're starting to point down. So again, a little bit of bias there, but I'm completely fine with it. Just didn't trade it properly right there. So with NVIDIA, I don't think we really need to get out of this anymore, but I'm going to do one more out right now and then try to hold like about that 10%. So here we go. We're going to just offer it right now at 73s, get filled there, or 72s, and then now we'll wait to see where we go from here. But it's NVIDIA 146.50 right now, $1 and change, like really good trade to come through there. The Palantir one sucks. We're not going to go perfect. Not all ideas are going to work out, but this one definitely is, and we're liking this trade with NVDA. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye on RDDT here. Reddit here up about 4.5% with a 9.7% short float. No news on it, but decent volume here. Sit all morning with that 15-minute chart. Apparently, as of Tuesday, it's overtaken Snap's market value. So good look here for RDDT. Again, this is a pretty recent IPO with a $12.07 billion market cap for RDDT.
Reddit flying. I mean, set it and forget it on Reddit. That's an absolute flyer. You're almost at 150 on ARM. Tesla just made another run. Sorry, Tesla is making another run at $290. So when it makes the break, I'm going to go into this breakout. We still like it. VWAP, I guess we'll go into VWAP again if it tips down into VWAP. But the Tesla finally making that run into the 290. It's now the third time it's gotten up here. So triple top, but higher lows. Sometimes that's how it is, like triple top. Okay, it's not really, it'll be a triple top if it gets there. It hasn't gotten there yet, but triple top if it gets there, looking for that breakout on Tesla still imminently. Wow, right. Don't happen at the same time. but NVIDIA, which never got to VWAP and is completely allergic to it, has 500,000 shares on the offer at 148 and just broke the 148 level as well. So Tesla is imminent. NVIDIA already broke its even dollar level. It's just an absolute monster. Someone asked in the chat, at what point is NVIDIA a $4 trillion company? 10% from wherever it is now. It's about that. So that's my best answer. I can't do the math in my head, but it's about 10% from wherever we are right here. So yeah, it's probably going to get there. But Tesla's breaking 290 as well, so here we go.
Yeah, let's go. Right now, $1.50 in the money on this one. We are going to get ready for Tesla. I cannot believe that 287 level. It's too bad that we were looking at NVIDIA, at Palantir there, because those were great trades down there. I know you had some of that. That was great. Okay, so here we go. It's going to blast it, and we're going to get long, and then we're going to see where it goes. That's going to be Tesla. We do have our order in there, and there it goes. And we...
Whoa, miss.
Yeah, we missed. So there it goes. It just took down 290, like so super quick. That's why sometimes you got to get involved a little bit earlier on those moves. But I did not get any of that. So
I heard like 4 voices in the back all say missed. Like I missed. I heard a few people I know.
Dude, unless you crossed up 90 cents, you missed. No, more. I crossed up 40 at least. So, I mean, at least more than that, I would say there for Tesla. So, good job there for anybody that got it. Good job for anybody that was long right there. This is, see, getting long down there on Tesla, those are what you make your month on and your day on, right? That's what we're trying to do here with NVIDIA. It's the same kind of a play. We have NVIDIA. We don't have Tesla, is what it is. What's up, Adara? Wow.
We've got these numbers here. So we do have a wholesale inventories here month over month. This was the revised number for September. Revised to the downside, negative 0.2% versus negative 0.1% expected. And it was not expected to change. So we actually got an unexpected move to the downside for the revised wholesale inventories number. Wholesale sales month over month actually to the upside 0.3%. Versus here the forecast of 0.1% and a previous negative 0.1% print. So higher than expected wholesale month over month sales. Wholesale inventory is a little bit lower than expected. Q still up here about 1%. So nice strength here for the NASDAQ. S&P 500 pretty strong as well. Lots of strength in this market as we have day 2 of post-Trump victory of these Trump trades. DJT though, struggling a little bit with that gap to the downside. TSLA, as we know here, pushing above 290s and still looking really strong on this day. And it's bound to be an exciting day as well with the FOMC coming through at 2 p.m. Expect comments from Fed Chair Powell on 2:30. We are expecting a 25 basis point cut. Lots of earnings on watch here, including LYFT, which is just coming down here from day's highs, up about 28% with a EPS and sales beat and strong gross booking guidance. Now, we also have ELF here up about 13%, definitely bouncing here with this double bottom off of its lows of day. And we did have an EPS sales beat and increased guidance for fiscal 2025. Lots of earnings name on watch here. QCOM, ARM, BROS, APP. Some other earnings plays to keep an eye on, guys.
And Tesla's gone, and NVIDIA's gone. We reloaded. Okay, so we are reloaded. We just saw Moderna here, and I sort of zoomed in. You know, it was holding this 53 level. So I was going to give it to 52 and change to the bottom. So I was just like, you know what? We like the stock. We like the market. We like everything that's been happening right now. So let's try a little bit of a long now on mRNA. So that's trying to work. I have offers through the upside. We're basically flat on the stock now if we can get these fills, but we have to get the fills. All right, NVIDIA continues to work higher. And I mean, Tesla is the monster. We have that written down as the #1 trade idea today, the 290 long break. I wish, like I said, I wish I was on it and been able to see those 287 levels. Those were absolutely monsters. That's the trade for me. Take those and hold those. Like just like we're doing on NVIDIA, I think you only get so many chances to make those plays. Wow. 293 right now.
I think we get to 300. It's just a matter of where to get back in. It's that simple.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is that simple. I mean, every single dollar break has been huge. So it's going to be 293 and then 294 and then 295. And unless you take it, you're not getting in. So pull back maybe to 290 would be the only spot, but.
I think it can. Once it does any kind of a dip, there's going to be a lot of people trying to chase back into it for sure. Now you're getting the 93. I just want to quickly update DJT. We had it into VWAP. It went underneath the the prior bar high, so that was an easy out. We just got in a bit late to VWAP, so we had to have a tight stop. I wasn't in at the bottom, so I'm not going to hold it back into the bottom. I mean, come on. DJT breaking the lows, down 17%. Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience has taken a bold step in advancing brain health technology. In collaboration with Bright Minds Biosciences, Firefly's innovative AI-powered platform has successfully analyzed data from a groundbreaking phase 1 clinical trial, using advanced EEG technology to track brain activity. This data unlocks new potential in treating neurological and mental disorders, reinforcing Firefly's position at the forefront of brain health innovation. As they prepare for phase 2, this partnership signals exciting developments for the future of neuropsychiatric treatments. Firefly Neuroscience, shaping the future of brain health.
So while this was going on, I actually didn't realize Micron did not break. Or it tried to break. Actually, no, it tried to break pre-market highs and did not go. So this one's still valid. And we'll get to Tesla in a second because Tesla's an absolute rocket ship. This is still valid, trying to break out that top. Of course, if it breaks a low, you can throw it out the window if this breaks the low. So Micron's still valid if it takes that high. As far as Tesla goes, there's no point leaving in the 290. Now that you're through 293, 95 break is obviously going to be there, but this trend is starting to get a little bit parabolic. I went over and quickly was like, is Rivian back through $10? Can it get dragged up by it? And the answer is it has been, but it's already pulled back. So Rivian, nothing more. I was kind of hoping that it'd be squeezing and we could join something along those lines. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. Like Tesla, like we said, it's off to the races.
Stop selling.
We just got to find something in here to buy the dip. There hasn't been a red candle. The last time we got a red candle on Tesla, that was your entry point. A red on the 3-minute, and that was where you found the dip. That's pretty much what I'm looking for here. I just try to keep it as simple as possible. An uptrend like this, if it wants to go Coinbase ham from yesterday,
Coinbase ham.
You try to buy on the first available dip. It just hasn't given one yet.
All right, so we're not trying to go Coinbase ham on anything right now, but we do have more Palantirs. Palantir just fell in to 54. So I'm like, okay.
54?
Yeah, so we'll give it a little bit of love here. We haven't seen this 50 period, obviously, for a minute, but that doesn't make any sense because, we had such a dramatic move. So you're not going to see that. This is a 20-minute chart. So we're long right now at 96s. We have, this will be our biggest position, but we're only giving it 20 cents. So at the end of the day, it's not going to be like a big, huge hit to the net or anything like that. But I think it's worth a spot now to see if it wants to get going. And it keeps on bouncing off 54. So I'm seeing this, and I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. So if we can get something out a little bit north of this, or even, I don't want to get it out for flat, but you see, it just can't break. It's not breaking above this 54. There we go. We get some 01s or something there. But other than that, not much happening here for Palantir. So I'll wait. I do have a bigger order now at 15s, 54 15s, if it comes back up there. So we'll wait to see if we get that. But Palantir right now, if we drip below this the 50 period, it's about 80s. So if we break through 80s, then we're out of PLTR. Just a quick little update. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is pretty much what SMCI did yesterday, where it tried to break, trend off of VWAP, and then very clean, steep trend off of VWAP. Close above trend line and then go for VWAP there. And that'll give you probably something in the 30 range into about 55 to 55 quarter. So I'm going to have eyeballs on that. I'm going to throw that one up. Unless SoFi gets back above 12, I'm throwing that level 2 up. I know we're going to have Tesla. Wow. Okay, Tesla. We'll get to Tesla in a second. That just absolutely did not dip one more time there on Tesla. So once we get that trend line break, closing bar above, I'm going to look to get in. That was the red candle on Tesla. That was pretty much it. 292.5, and it's already breaking back above the highs. You just take a shot at the even and give it that prior bar low just to get into it. To be honest with you guys, it's breaking out a new fresh high, and the only way to get in is to either just be sitting on the bid at a price I don't want, take a local break, and give it to the prior bar. So just give it a tight stop, and if that's going to be the way in, fair enough. If it does a deeper dip into 290, we can always just take that later. We're going to take a first salvo at some of these insane highs on Tesla, which is...
The problem is always trying to figure out how many shares, right? Because it's like, you don't know if that's going to be the end of the dip or if you're going to get another opportunity
third
to get a
quarter
better price.
I'm taking 1/8 of what I had on the breakout. The breakout trade was to me, the breakout trade was the trade.
Yes.
And once you miss that, I'm not it's very difficult for me to like anything more than what I like the breakout trade for. I can't.
Yeah, the breakout trade was
the breakout trade was the trade, and if it's not that, then I can't like it more. Unless maybe I could make an argument for VWAP in 289 if we get down there, but at that point, what does that even look like? So Palantir is actually making that potential break.
Yes, sir.
So we took the break on Tesla. If we lose the prior bar, we're out. So I want to get over to Palantir now that we've covered that. It's almost there. Once it closes above that bar, going to look to go long with the stop underneath trend. Usually that bar, so probably 53.90 if it stands as is. Market's still flying. There hasn't been a red candle on the 15-minute on the NASDAQ.
Go market.
Amazon's still flying as well, so there it is.
Go Palantir.
Right, now we're in.
Let's get going, Palantir. Come on, man. You face slapped this one. Let's get back up to the upside near 4 PLTR. We just took some, Neil's in, so I don't know if that was just a jinx there because it stopped. But let's go, Palantir. You just did. We got some 25s before you got in, or hopefully that you didn't get 25s. But right now, it is a nice play there back up to the upside for us on Palantir. We cashed some out, man. We told you we were getting some out at 15s, and then we were lucky enough to get it right there as well. So let's go. Palantir, man, upside. We like that stock, obviously, as we continue to talk about it every single day. And we did take a hit on it, so it's not like it's all skies blue there for me. But you know what's happening right here, too, is NVIDIA, the absolute trade of the day right now, as it should be, I feel like. It will hold forward. It will be the top P&L name. It'll be a big one for me, obviously, as we continue to watch out and see where it goes. They're 148.50. We just got, we didn't get 50s, we got 44s. Nice move there to the upside. Palantir's the one that's sort of struggling right now to get going. We've reloaded it back up, but good outs there, making back not all of the money that we lost, obviously, but a decent spot there as we got out, and now there's the flush there for PLTR. So, yeah, about that. We'll see what happens for this name breaking back down again. So, couple of Palantir traders over here. What's up over there, Adara?
Strongest larger cap name here with earnings has to be AAPL, which is certainly strong here. AppLovin up about 51%, continuing to make new day's highs off earnings. Just an update there with an 11% short float. SMCI actually looking not bad here as well, up about 4.5%. This one looks like it's rebounding after that disappointing preliminary earnings report and the news that they still do not know when that 10K is going to be filed. They actually risk NASDAQ delisting, but right now looks like traders not caring too much as SMCI makes new day's highs.
What?
Yeah.
Logic.
I like that long, man. But
Logic be darned. Sell off Palantir.
Palantir.
So, very simple setup. It's the same as SMCI yesterday. Oddly enough, SMCI, the stock that you would think shouldn't bounce, is the one that did. This one did not. So we take our shot at it on Palantir. This is always going to be the entry, and that's always going to be the exit on that type of a setup. So it doesn't work here. We'll slap the L on it for me. I don't think it's necessarily done, because if it does close back above, I don't mind taking another shot at it if we actually get this close above. But that initial entry, it didn't happen, so it has to give me a close above to try to jump back into it. Wow, Amazon is still absolutely flying.
All right, sorry about the Palantir, but we held it a little bit longer, but like Neil said, man, this is what we do here. We put on our outs and our ins, and you got to have it, because if you don't, you wind up paying the piper. So some trades will work out, some trades won't. And we had waited for Palantir to come back in here, so we did reload it, take some more profits on that name. It still could drop out, obviously, there. All right, Moderna, we did have a winner there. We actually had a decent one. We almost had it. We had more than $1. No, we had 70 cents, on that play. We were trying to wait for this 50 period. Moderna doesn't look like it wants to hold, but it's been down here and been holding. So who am I to know what this wants to do? But we're going to wait to see if it continues its downside push there. But we are getting out, just in case you were wondering, 52 break. So that's right there. That's kind of where we got stopped out that last time. This was a mistake. We had meant to get stopped out in here. Then we saw a little bit of a build. I think we can buy we don't have very many shares because of how violent this name is, especially on earnings. So I'll buy a little bit more here at 52.50 and then wait to see if we can't get it out a little bit higher than that. So that's what we're doing right now on Moderna. I'm going to cancel a couple of these offers. I don't think we're going to get too many of these shares upside, but we'll wait to see if that comes into play again. So right now, Palantir still trying to cook, man. Nice move upside. I want to wait for it to get going. If it doesn't, we're getting stopped out. Our stop out was always a break of 80. That hasn't happened yet, so we'll wait for that to come in. And if it does, fine. It'll be a 10-cent hit on that last piece. We've just taken more than that back to the upside. So yeah, Palantir pretty weak. If the market continues to fall down, Palantir is Deadsville anyways. So we'll wait on that one. Tesla, I mean, we can watch out for the money market, see what they're doing. Remember, there's one thing that's happening today that we haven't even mentioned once, and that's Fed.
What is that?
So, it's now been trading for a while. I've said that I didn't care about it. And, as you can see, I'm not changing the way I'm trading at all yet. So
Not until like you get to 1:30. Like that's the time of day. Like once we get past lunchtime, you get into 1 o'clock right before that afternoon when people are away from lunch, come back from lunch and set things up. That's when I want to be flat. I try to be out of positions unless you're holding something deep in the money. If it's deep in the money, it's like, who cares? But I don't want a new position where 2 o'clock is going to affect it and then your technicals are thrown out the window. So Micron, I mean, it took a while, but it just broke the pre-market highs. So it put in a higher low, broke the pre-market highs, giving it to prior bar. This is a bit of it's a continuation from yesterday, but then, like, what isn't a continuation play from yesterday on a long side? Like, what are we talking about here? Pretty much everything. So we're into Micron. I got to go over to Tesla. I don't know if we're going to get the dip into 290. We took the break, gave it to prior bar. We're out. So I don't know, like I said, the triple top and then the breakout feels like it's the level everybody is waiting for if it wants to dip there. I'm not convinced that it's going to give us that price if there is a pullback any further. But it's an absolute rocket ship. And there's so many people in the chat that have said, Neil, look at Bros. Neil, look at Intel, or both of us look at these stocks. Intel's up 3.5%. That said, I was setting up on that Micron breakout. So that's the one that we're in. Obviously, Intel on the daily is making a big break through $25. This has a decent chance to fill a good portion of that gap. I don't know about today because that would be asking a heck of a lot of Intel to be able to get through the entirety of the gap. I'm not sure you're going to get that just today, but good look for Intel. It's a good one. Dutch Brothers, another good one as well. But wild price action here. The NASDAQ up 1%. You can't deny it. I promised I would also look at Dutch Bros. It's at $50. This is absolutely flying. Another earnings continuation name, now 43%. It's a pure squeeze. If Lyft doesn't give it, I'm actually looking at this for a bit of a reversion. If it holds through the $50 level, it's now got a very, very steep channel to the upside. It was Lyft that I had the plan for at 20, and Lyft doesn't seem to want to get there. So I'm now eyeballing that Dutch Brothers. It's got to hold through $50 and set another trade to the upside. Of course, Tesla just shook us out.
Yeah, Tesla. Oh, did it?
What a beast.
There you go, right? Like, there you go. Like,
beast.
the biggest stock on the board here. And you got to, like, patience works, patience doesn't work. It's such a crazy game, this one that we're playing. All right. I still think Palantir can go. So I just wanted to say, and I just wasn't able to say it before it happened, but I just bought 54s there on the break back through. So it's similar to the trade that Neil put on there, waiting for something to happen and then taking it. So that's what I'm doing right now, just trying to see if something's going to happen here. I don't have, obviously, as much confidence, but I really like the level. Like, I like this 53. I mean, I feel that this is something there. And to lose and to give back what you make when it's good sucks for sure, right? But we haven't necessarily done that yet, and I don't want to be stubborn about anything, but right now, I don't know if we want to give it up, but I don't know how far to hold it back down in. That bottom today is 53.70. See? So there it goes. It breaks it again, and then looks like the short's going to win. Like, the futures on this pullback, so here we go. So it doesn't look like it wants to work out. So that's okay. We'll try one more right here to try this, and then breaking basically 53. The low of the day is 60, 70, 69 maybe or so, and get out of here. But so right now it doesn't look like Palantir wants to do it. We tried it one more time. I did think that there was something brewing here that we could get back into the long side, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So we're long Palantir. I'm talking all like dead man walking. We're long at 91.5 here, but at the same time, it hasn't been trading that well. I'm going to take something out at like high 80s if we can. We're only going to give this one breakthrough 70. That's the low of the day. Look, here's the pressure, and we're going to get out of here. So giving some back there, definitely on this Palantir, being pretty stubborn with it. I just thought there was a chance to go off of this level. It appears that we're wrong. So for right now, Palantir, wrong on that one. As it's flat for us now, we will take a piece out. We just said that. So let's just now wait to see where we go. Back to a little bit of flat area here on Palantir, but making me nervous. There we go. Take some more out at 97. Palantir, we're in it, but not with ultimate confidence.
Yeah, that's about how I feel about the Armour version. But you have a trade set up. Your idea is you're supposed to do it. And Palantir didn't work. And ARM just set up one of the bigger ones that you'll see because it's such a ridiculous mover. And it's pretty much clean in terms of this play. You got one red candle pullback. So from first pullback, holds the same trend line, steep trend line on ARM, sets up, and then closes. And now we get a test underneath, so I'm in. Ideally, there'd be a consolidation where I'd like it a little bit better if it consolidates under that trend line and you could have more. Give it to the prior bar high. I'm already bid 152 and then 151 half because I think 150 is going to be a brick wall. Oh, why is 150 a brick wall on ARM? Let's just go back and show you. So 150 bucks was a big resistance. It was a monster floor going back into middle of this year. So I want to respect the $150 level as we're in here essentially at 153. So if we get down to 150, I'll be happy. My stop is just above the 154 level. What else do I want to get to? Oh, yeah, Tesla. What was I going to talk about? Tesla, Neil. 295. I don't have anything else other than to say that it's at $295 and about to break. That's pretty much it. So Tesla, it just continues to absolutely ramp. I think obviously here, why take a break? You should be taking the wick and then the re-entry, right? That's a more patient entry. That's an impatient entry. That's a patient entry. I got to have a patient entry the next time through on Tesla. That's a way to get in. You just have to you can't have FOMO in this game. Don't get FOMO entries, which I know that's what I had in there. I can admit it. That's a non-FOMO entry. The next one, if I take another FOMO entry, I'll slap another fail on it. Uber and Lyft are still flying, but ARM is the reversion trade, so I'm not even looking at Lyft at this point because ARM set up one that was even more steep, and that just means that we jumped into it. It's still holding the bid at 152. Is someone stacking it up there in front of 152? Just took the quarters out. Oh. I have a 150, 150 as well. And we'll see if it starts heading down. After that, the next bid's going to be under 151 here on ARM. 5% up. We said it in the aftermarket show that we're looking for a bounce play, but it was a dip buy opportunity this morning I was looking for, not an absolute pump job. What a stock this is. Let's go to Adara for the small cap recap.
We've got the NASDAQ up about 1%, S&P 500 up about 0.5%, and then the IWM, which is down about 0.3% here, running into some clear resistance still around 239. This was during the pre-market, but this is also that same area of resistance we found yesterday in the pre. Right now, trading around 236.30. So let's see if this is a level we can hold on to. Potential support below could be at this 234.50 area that we used as support on the way back up yesterday. Lots of small cap runners, including two penny stocks up more than 200%. First one here is NMHI. This is Nature's Miracle Holding. They work here in the natural space. They also really work here in EVs. They're launching an EV business, specifically focusing here on electrical agriculture and commercial vehicles. We've got about a $7 million market cap. Next up, we have WBUY. WeBuy is the name of the company. They are a Singapore-based company, so this is going to be an ADR. Penny stock trading around 48 cents right now, up 300%. No news, but 67% insider-owned and $22 million market cap. Last but not least here, EBS, Emergent Biosolutions. This name might sound familiar because they run pretty frequently, mostly on Mpox-related catalysts. They do have a catalyst here with Mpox today, saying they had some positive results here for their Mpox treatment study in Africa. They're also looking to do another study in Africa, sponsored by the CDC. But they also had earnings yesterday. They missed on sales, but beat on earnings per share and got a price target increase here from Benchmark with a buy rating. And we are brought to you here by our friends at Trade the Pool. Trade the Pool allows traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. That's a real edge in trading. Here's the exciting part. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program for stock traders. For a one-time fee of just $97, you'll receive $20,000 in buying power. All you need to do is reach the profit goal. The best part? This limited edition program now has a reduced profit goal and fewer minimum trades required to reach the funded phase. Plus, the profit split is upgraded. Keep 70% of the profits. Don't miss the chance to explore this limited time offer.
Do not miss your chance and grab that trade to pool.
Limited time offer.
ASAP. Yeah, limited time offer. Yeah,
Shout out to Mitch. Shout out to Trade the Pool.
Very, very limited there. All right, so look, we kind of did it here on Palantir. We didn't do that much. We just kind of got back a little bit of what we've lost recently on this name. It still does not make me feel very good here with this name, but we're going to wait to see now where we go with it. So Palantir, we just got a bunch out there, man, like almost all right here at 5405s, 54s. So we did really good on the reload, I feel like, here for this. But again, remember where it drips down in. We're out of 2/3 of this trade already. Very, very good possibility that this continues to fall down. It's not trading that well. If the futures ever break the 50-period moving average, this position, my friends, is in big time trouble. So we're going to be very, very patient with it and hopefully catch something here. But for right now, it is not spitting very well for us, Palantir today. So that's that. But what has been really good, and Moderna came out, by the way. Just sort of noticing that right now. So, okay, my bad. Moderna does come out. So we do get that Moderna out there, breaking right there, 52. So that's going to be a fail all the way through. We had it early there, and then we just tried it, but it's relatively small. A hit is a hit, but it's a relatively small one here for Moderna. It just didn't really work out for us. We didn't level into it or anything like that. So that's Moderna, just trying to give me some ways there and make me feel some ways as we drip back down below $52. Okay, now, all right. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what to do here with PLTR. Do we like the stock? Yes. Do I want to hold it? Yes. But is it still giving me some of these ways? Also, yes. Like, it's not trading well enough today for me to sit here and really like this name. So there it is, another piece out there at O's. Hopefully we continue to make moves higher. But at the end of the day, I'm waiting at 16s to get out of 20% of this trade. If it gets all the way up there, that's sort of where we've stopped at, then that's great. We'll get out of 20%, then hold the rest for the ride. NVIDIA, we talked about that, then left it. We got some out right there, basically at the highs. We kept on bouncing off 45, so let's make sure that we do get a piece out there on this name. So far, so good as we look there. All right.
Quick update.
Yeah, go.
So 151 just held on ARM, and because this stock is screaming to the upside, I just got to respect it. You have to respect what's going on there. Tesla also just broke. Let me just finish that. Man. I'll finish that thought in a second, but Tesla, it's another breakout on Tesla, and it's boom. Like the stock just continues to go. So it just broke 295. I think it might have given a patient dip, but that was not the same as the last dip where it gave you time to work into it. It essentially just ramped to the upside and broke the 295. It's going to 300 today, Randy. So obviously anybody in is loving it, and it's clearly worth several briskets if you're into that sort of a thing, which I just checked, and we're 6 away. We're 6 super chats away from brisket today. And oddly enough, Tesla is not $6 away from 300. It is $4.50 away from 300. It is ridiculous. It is spectacular. It is Tesla. And Elon Musk is absolutely laughing all the way to the bank.
All right.
He's worth straight cash, homie.
I know you've got that Tesla on. Great trade there. But let's go for Palantir. Wow. Big move back to the upside again. You know, we sit in these trades, we talk about them, we like them, we talk about why we like them, and when it works out, we like them even more. So Palantir right there, nice move back up. We're starting to take a little bit more out here. Again, I was like, can we get 16s? I mean, so we'll take some out on the upside. Our best outs now, 24s, and then we just took a 22 right there as well as Palantir continues to, really impress me on that back end trade. I mean, obviously on the front side there, we have Obi coming up with Joe. So it's going to be a monster show coming up for you on the midday. The monsters of the midday is what I'm calling these two right there. So get ready for that one. On options, obviously talking. No idea what the topic is, but that doesn't even matter. You're going to get entertained there.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Intraday option moves. Is that what you said? Intro to options. part 1. So if you've missed the other parts, it's okay. There has been none.
You know the
So this is part
obligation, if you do a part 1, that means you can only have 2.
This guy's
like
smart.
everything is minimum trio. That's
Yeah.
how it works in the world.
Yeah.
So it's a minimum of 3. You always have a trilogy. There's no because
like
if you
it 'cause,
only
like-
have a sequel, you're lame. It's one or 3.
This guy's smart. He's like guaranteeing his job now because now everyone's going to make, you know what I'm saying? So now you have to do
up,
number
man?
2 and 3.
Joe knows what's
Yeah,
up.
very, very smart Joseph coming through there. I don't know
Oh,
if he's
my goodness.
smart enough to have Palantir long, but right now we have Palantir long, and it's been a good trade there for us again, as we just teased. Not everybody has to have Palantir long, but you should have Palantir or NVIDIA right now, or Tesla. Right now, we'll talk about that stock
Just
when
not
we get
DJT.
back from the desk.
Intuitive Machines really strong today here. LUNR getting increasing volume here in this 15-minute chart as we go, making new day's highs as we speak, up about 11% with a 33.3% short float. So that is not a short float to scoff at. Market cap of just over $1 billion. And they report earnings in a week from today. So Thursday before the open for LUNR, guys.
Oh,
52.
good look on Lunar. Tesla's gone.
Ludicrous.
It's through 296 and still cruising. Head to 296 and a half. I'm looking at 97, 97 half. But DJT is now there. I like to term the Alamo, but I feel like when I use it, it's like, oh, the stock, if it goes down there, it's dead, or it breaks it, it's dead. It's overstating it. But if you look at it, 280 for $28 on DJT has kind of been the spot. And now that you've ticked down, there is the trend. There was an early one that reverted. I missed the entry here. Like, that entry should have been down here at $30. Instead, I got 30.25. So now if it breaks the trend, I'm just going to go for the reversion shot long on DJT. It's an SSR name, that's obviously different. That's a distinction. Like, SMCI was an SSR name when it did the reversion yesterday. So maybe I should have respected that a little bit more. So now I have DJT up. We got the trend on, and if it breaks, I'm going to go for that shot. It's a pretty much cut and dry black and white style of trade. Tesla just broke 97s and now headed for
97.
moon.
Yeah, it's already
300.
mooning, baby.
It's already mooning. It's ridiculous. It's only 3% compared to 15 yesterday, but a lot of that was the gap up, right? That's why we showed that blue ocean number. It was a lot of that aftermarket action. Well, there was just in the chat there, I saw Charlie Taff in the chat. What up? Thank you for the
Charlie?
super chat. Long this. That DXYZ is crazy. 55%. Everything Elon is working.
little crazy.
And so that means SpaceX is crazy. And DXYZ, I'm not sure another way that you can play it in the market, SpaceX that is, other than that DXYZ.
Yeah, I don't know.
Valuation, questionable. I'd look into that yourself as to how much they hold and where the implied valuation is in the last time they did a private raise. That's some work that you want to do if you're doing anything more than trading that thing. I don't know myself. Let's go over to Adara to see how Bitcoin is doing. Probably okay.
Probably you're right.
Bitcoin and a lot of these crypto plays certainly benefited yesterday, and maybe none of them benefited as much as Coinbase, COIN, which had maybe one red candle all day yesterday on the 15-minute chart, closed up a cool 31%. Its CEO, Brian Armstrong, grew his position by roughly $2 billion yesterday. So as of its last proxy filing, he had a stake of 34.8 million shares. That would bring his total holdings there to almost $9 billion as of yesterday. So great look here for Brian Armstrong and Coinbase. This was down as much as 4% pre-market. Now we're down only 0.5%. So COIN, nice recovery, almost at yesterday's highs, near 260. Now, what about Bitcoin? Today, Bitcoin really, when you look at this chart, since that double bottom at 54,000 on September 7th, we have this beautiful uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, still continuing. Today, though, a bit of a doji candle, just below 76,000, but still nothing to scoff at considering that massive move up we had yesterday from below 70,000 all the way to new all-time highs. So BTC still looking strong, even though today might be a momentary setback depending on what chart you look at. Currently around that 73.5 area. Ethereum, though, this is really notable. We were trading around 26 yesterday. Now we're at 2,800, up about 6.5%. So today might be Ethereum's time to shine. We have Solana, BNB, XRP all up about 2%. Cardano, great look today, up about 7%. Ton coin up about 5%. Tron lagging a little bit, as is Doge, but generally lots of strength here in this crypto space. And even the names that are down aren't down by much.
Down enough. Yeah, no, I mean, crypto is, I was just thinking like, wow, where is this going to stop? I mean, that Ethereum run is nice, nice.
I got several, and this happens, but obviously we're involved in the markets if you can't tell. But so you get a lot of friends that are, you know, friends, past colleagues, all that kind of stuff. Will always ask opinions, family. And the number of messages yesterday, Tesla, question mark, what's going on with crypto? Like, what should I do with? Should I be buying this? Blah, blah, blah. It was ridiculous how much that was the case. Oh, DJT still hasn't made the break. Oh, no. DJT still hasn't made that breakout. Okay, I got to do this because Tesla with its first pullback in the most recent of its ridiculous trends.
There was a reversion?
I just heard Obi say reversion. I mean, maybe, like if I was
asking for a friend.
No, if you were gonna put a reversion on it, it would look something like this. Since prior breakout, like since the break of the 290 high, right? Since that break, you have this lower high, so it would have to be underneath 295.50. Now I already took some out on this level. It would have to close under 295.50, which is conveniently enough break even. So as long as this holds above break even, I'm sticking with it and trying to hang on till 300 and then look for some kind of another entry on.
I don't mind that.
On Tesla. So that's my look. Like it can still hold on to that trend and be good. And then I'm looking for a reversion here on DJT. If we can get that, that could be fine. Glenn Smith, you're right. You can also look at a 20 EMA bounce. And again, Tesla is an absolute rocket ship to the upside. I just feel like the next trade for me is going to be the reversion on DJT. And it's the kind of thing, DJT moves fast enough that when it happens, like I got to be ready to hit it, as it's riding this trend line very tightly. So the second you get a breakout above it and hold, I want to go into that long. Another super chat. Now 2 away. Thank you, Nichols. I've been watching you guys for about 2 years now, giving great analysis and inspiration. Tesla is being good to me. Baseball very good to me, like Sammy Sosa said. Tesla is very good to everybody that's on the long side. Just started trading this month and already up $3,000.
Kablam!
Let me hit the like on that one. Everyone shout out and give a big congratulations to Nichols. That's what we love to see in there. Great job for you. I remember when we were celebrating. We were celebrating on the aftermarket show Adara's first positive month last month, and that was all the support that everybody. She didn't say a word. And then we're doing the afternoon show, and then very casually, Adara just brings up, oh, I just had my first positive month. And I was like, and you didn't tell us live during the show?
I mean, that's better than many. We'll leave it at that, right? I mean, it's been tough, right? I mean, it's been very, very tough. So congratulations to Adara. I meant to say yesterday that she had done really well there yesterday, joining the club on the green side. So congratulations there. It wasn't as green of a day yesterday as many people might have thought. Okay, so here goes Palantir, guys. We reloaded that one back down there as well. Nice trade here, hopefully for Palantir. But look, man, it's going back and forth and around again. I don't know if it's going to go. We did get some out there when it broke back down. We bought a little bit more. It's just one of them days here for Palantir. Let's just see. Don't take it personal, but we're going to see where we go with PLTR, Mr. Karp here. It's his world, and we're all living in it, but right now the Bears have been winning today for Palantir, down 3% as we try to pick up where we left off on this monster, PLTR. And video, we still have a little bit of time left, right? It's only 10:36. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us. I mean, 75.3 right now for crypto. Bitcoin continuously moving as well. We actually talked about some of the profits that we had seen over the last little while. There it is. Thank you so much, Adrian, right there, helping us get to that level as well. Yesterday, a lot of trading on Blue Ocean, which is the overnight markets, as we continue to see some success over there, and a lot of it to deal with DJT overnight and what that Trump trade meant. So Blue Ocean, another one, and yesterday we brought on board the Saudi Arabian market as well. So we're really excited to have that on board here. And here goes Palantir. It's just a ho-hum. 40 cents now in the money, but it's got to still go. We'd like to see it get up there a little bit more as well. NVIDIA's still trying to go as well. So it's those two trades. And then damn you, Moderna, damn you. We got out again on that one and we lost on mRNA. So with only 20 minutes to go right now, we're in Palantir and we're in NVIDIA. And I just think Palantir did the 50 period, 54.20, my next out over there. Was that to go somewhere?
No, just give me a couple of minutes.
Oh, give me a couple minutes. Okay, yeah, no problem. All right. Go nuts. Neil is dealing with chart issues as we continuously have them, and it's just new versions, new this, as we'll work out on some bugs. Okay, so with that being said, let's just continue the fun side of trading here for everybody. All right, so what do you want me to look at? SPY. Okay, DJT. Duh, that's when we did. And that's it. The goals are now completed. That's what we're talking about. So although I still plan on going to the gym and doing a couple laps, on my way back, we'll call Randy, we'll call Neil, we'll get it all figured out. We'll see if Miss Ramin wants to get some brisket. We'll figure out what... I guess we don't have to see if she wants any after that. But I want to thank Adrian for definitely throwing it out there. You guys are just amazing. This dude, I guess, made 6.3 because of us last month.
Damn.
I mean, amazing. 6.3 grand right there. That's $10 US. Thank you so much for that. Roel here as well. There's the $10 as well. Thank you so much. We like that. Thank you, Yoel. Nicola over here. Nichols right there. Thank you so much. Sorry about your name there for that $10. I don't want to super chat there. Great job. Oh, that's you already talked about that, guy. So, all right. Thank you so much for all the super chats. And it is now met, Neil. So now we can give a shout out to Randall the Handle and get him all excited once again about brisket, because brisket's a jam. So we'll wait to get involved with that. Palantir, not my friend. NVIDIA, mucho friendly. And then Tesla, another name that, of course, Neil's been in and out of and in again. Tesla right now, 298 and change over there. Having a lot of fun. Getting ready for the midday. Joe.
Yes.
And Obi there. Tesla, looks like it just faded off 298. So thank you again to everybody that supported the Super Chats. That was a lot of fun. I think we're going to keep on doing that, right, guys? As much as we can, we're going to keep on supporting the Super Chats. And I want to thank everybody for all of that. Great job to everybody. Without any further ado, it's Miss Adair's world, and we're living in that. Another Super Chat. 100K.
Lots of strength here in this sector board once again. Because we have the Qs outperforming the S&P 500 by quite a significant margin, you're going to see that reflected here. META making a nice recovery after yesterday's Trump weakness, because we know Trump is a bit of a fan of the TikTok. So META sold off yesterday, or was a bit weaker yesterday. Today, though, strongly to the upside. Microsoft and Google following suit. So good luck here for the technology services sector, though ADBE a little bit weaker here. Lots of strength here coming through in electronic technology. Retail trade led by Amazon, mostly to the upside. We also have a good look here for consumer durables, led, of course, by Tesla in a day two move. Health services looking great. Process industries as well. Now, in terms of some weakness, we have to talk about the financial sector. This, like a lot of the plays today, is going to be a day two or reaction move. We had banks really strong yesterday after Trump's victory. Now, JPM down about 3%, leading this group to the downside. So BRKB and WFC, all names we know made big moves yesterday, now selling off a little bit. Also some weakness here in communications. Health technology a bit weaker too, though. LLY, which sold off yesterday in sympathy with Novo Nordisk with its earnings, is actually to the upside, guys.
Nordisk, I like that word. Remix.
Long this. Long what is what I want to know. Pretty much probably everything. Probably a little NVIDIA, probably a little bit of Tesla. Whatever it is, 100K day. Shout out to you, long this. So you guys can try some sausage too. Like, why not? Yeah, well,
sausage?
Well, I mean, with the brisket. Because sometimes you get a platter, right? Like, I don't think we'll be doing one of those troughs like like they do in the South.
I already know what it comes in. It's like a bag of brisket. It has onions in it. It's a bag of good ass brisket.
I mean, you get the trough that has you get the sausage, you get the brisket, you get the ribs, you get a little bit of everything. That's where it's at. But then for that, you got to set aside like half of a day so that you can just sit down there. And there was I keep forgetting the name of the place in Deep Ellum down in Dallas. Every single time I do this and I forget, it's the best. It was the best brisket I've ever had in my entire life, and yet I can't remember the name of it because I only went there once. Just a quick note, DJT did do the mean revert. DJT got to the point of the mean reversion. And I entered here. I got 81 half, so that's why it'll say 82, but I'm in at 81 half. That's why you see a couple of entries in there. But immediately gets to 29, and there was a big seller. Now there's another one at 29 quarters. Let's just say it's heavy on DJT. Like each time it does the bounce, it's looking like it wants to go ham, but it's not. And I'll juxtapose that with SMCI, this exact same setup on SMCI yesterday. Okay, SMCI is flying. Wow. SMCI, when it now doesn't want to load. Okay, well, it was right at SMCI when it bounced, and you're not going to be able to see, but this bounce here or the one that was earlier, it would hit it, and then immediately it would bounce. Like the first candles were just wild, and it was like a huge swath of buying. That's what you want in an SSR bounce play, because the idea is that people are chasing it when it's short sell restricted and they can't hit the bid. They're chasing it down, 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 and when it's released, it's supposed to release heavy to the upside. So once again, I have prior bar, and now if it loses the break-even bar because we've broken 29, I'm going to jump out on DJT. It's just not moving that big on these reversions here for DJT. Not bad, but not necessarily good enough. Tesla it's been chilling at the 298 for a while, but you're now starting to see some lower highs in here on Tesla. The entry, like if you look at the difference between the dips and the green bars following it, it's a little bit distinctly different here on Tesla. I don't want us losing the shelf here at the 96. I did have a break-even stop, but if we can't run the high the next time, then I got to jump out of this one. And I just saw Lemon Musk. Lemon Musk, I like that. Lemon Musk just mentioned Meta and said 601 question mark. I haven't looked at Meta today because
Is that high, eh?
590, 588.
I wanted to buy some. Meta.
Yeah, Meta is, look, they're all rocket ships. They're all rocket ships. But like it's just, whether you're talking about Meta or Amazon or Tesla today, NVIDIA, there's so many rocket ships out there. Like I'm looking at this on the daily chart. Like I had this trend drawn on Meta. I could have been in Meta today. Like look at this setup. Channel down. I mean, the last time it broke this channel, you got $25. So this time it's a rejection underneath, consolidation. There's your entry on the breakout. That'll be a 570. What was that? 570. Look at the break. Wow, like that was a great looking setup, but you know, it's lines in the chart till you take the trade. And Meta wasn't even on the radar today. So like, let's be real. If it had been on the radar, maybe I would have noticed that, but I didn't even give a second thought to Meta today. DJT, as I said, not as strong as what we saw before. So it gives you a push. We're able to cover in that push, and there's no secondary push, and then we're just out underneath break even. So like it's giving you something, it's not giving you the big move to the upside on DJT. Don't know what to tell you. It doesn't seem to have it in it today on these bounces.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, but I mean, I always wonder about that. Like, you know, where does the stock even want to go? Like, what is the reason to buy it right now, other than just trying to trade it for a trade? And I think if you're going to do that, then yeah, key levels are going to be what you're going to look for there on DJT, of course. All right, so. No. We don't do anything like that. Palantir, nice. Okay, here goes Palantir. I mean, if you're not liking and subscribing for these Palantir wins, then yeah, you're probably on the wrong side of things. Let's go to Palantir. Look at this move back up to the upside, 167, 175 in the money right now on NVIDIA, 65 cents in the money right now on Palantir. Let's take another piece out here as we continue to climb. Look, I said, I think Palantir can go. I think it can. And eventually it did. So nice little move there for Palantir all the way back up there now to the north side of $54. Well, I think we can hold on to this one as the futures, Neil.
High of the day.
High of the day. So we really appreciate all the love here on the show. But really, I mean, if you've been long, there's a lot of love for you past couple minutes as well. Intel, again, $25. Wow. We wrote down yesterday how much we like that $24 level. That was yesterday. Today, $26. Intel continues to work it out for everybody that believed and does continue to believe in that name, Intel. Great little look there. Palantir Palantir, Nvidia, the only two names that we have on board right there. The mistake of the day for me, Moderna. I don't have any problems with anything else. This will be the red name for me right here, all in all so far, is going to be Moderna. We have to make some money back on Palantir, but we're doing that, so we'll leave that one for now. But yeah, I mean, again, really like this position here for Moderna. We're going to have to wait to see if it does hold 52 again. We stepped up, but we got stepped out of that trade. So too bad for me on that one. Too bad, so sad. Love dad. All right, 54.80.
I like that one.
You do? Don't
being a dad, obviously.
Yeah, don't steal it. You know, that's
too late.
Too late there. Don't weasel your way into that one there.
No, I mean,
all right, so there we go. Good outs again. We took some more out there on Palantir. I'm just going to let Nvidia ride, to be honest with you, because maybe when we get back, the stock will be huge again. But I'm going to put another offer at 148.70. So if we can get back up there into that day's high, then we'll do that. NVDA coming back upside. Put an offer out there, 148.65 for a couple shares, and wait to see if we get that fill on Nvidia.
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia,
Tesla might be
it's a rocket ship on Nvidia. I just want to quickly show, look, if you look at the higher time frame on Nvidia, let me just show the weekly chart. You don't need to see all that nonsense. I'll just pull out the weekly chart on Nvidia. You're riding so far away from 50, 200. This week is a big breakaway candle. And when you think that it can't do it, like the last time it had, when it does consolidation breakaways, they are nasty. Like that one, going back to the beginning of the year, obviously. But then when it broke out here, like the 100, the continuation was fantastic. So it looks a lot like the dip, back, the break. The dip, back, the break. And they haven't even reported yet. That's the thing that gets me. Like NVIDIA hasn't even shown us the goods. And when they do, you know it can be absolutely spectacular. So right now I'm only in Tesla. It's still cruising at that 297 level. I'll still have eyes on that DJT for sure. But I think when you're talking about a day like today, it just comes down to like, did you find a long? You know, you cannot argue with any of the long trades out there. If you're in ARM, then I have no issues with that. It's up 6%. It bounced off that daily and was absolutely fantastic. If you're in Tesla, great. If you're in Amazon, great. Meta, they're all out there. And as long as you found yourself into a long, the continuation from yesterday's trade has been fantastic. Let's go see how the US dollar is doing, because that was another banger yesterday. If you were long USD, how is it doing today with Money Talks and Adara? Basically just
DXY looking a little grim, but before we get to that, I do want to quickly mention here AMZN, Amazon on watch, with a tweet from Ming-Chi Kuo. That's that Apple analyst who recently also has been tweeting about Tesla and NVIDIA. Supply chain analyst here. We know that his tweets can move the market. Tweeting today here, just a couple minutes ago, that apparently Kindle ColorSoft displays has some discoloration. And apparently this has to do with Amazon's use of a different open control architecture type. So keep an eye on AMZN with that story in mind, because we know some of these comments can move the market. We do have the DXY here, creating to the downside on the day, giving up not all, but at more than half of yesterday's nice push to the upside. Now also back below that previous area of resistance and support at 104.50. Currently trying to hang on right now to 104.3. We had initial jobless claims slightly smaller than expected, 221,000 versus 223,000 expected. Non-farm productivity quarter over quarter, lower than expected as well, 2.2% versus 2.6% for the preliminary print for Q3. Then productivity here, lower than expected. There was also here the unit labor costs, which are higher than expected, 1.9% for Q3 preliminary versus 1% expected. Of course, the biggest thing for the US dollar today is going to be the FOMC meeting that's coming through at 2 p.m., and then at 2:30, we'll actually have comments from Fed Chair Powell. I have the Fed Watch tool up here. This is what people are expecting. 97.2% here, chance priced in of a 25 basis point cut. 2.8% chance here from what people are seeing of a 50 basis point cut. This is notable because there was a time last week where there was 100% chance here that people were seeing a 25 basis point cut. Now it looks like those odds are decreasing ever so slightly. It looks like we're pretty much 100% expecting 25 basis point cut, but let's be aware of that slim possibility. The Fed could cut more or not at all, guys.
I'm going to go out on a limb And I'm not going out on a limb because I said this yesterday. We were talking about this with Chris Bretcher. He thought there was a chance the Fed could not cut. And I think that's, like, they've been way too good about telegraphing and letting the market know what they plan to do that. So I think it's too much of a shock for the market if they did that. I just wanted to update. I realized I didn't get a chance to talk about ARM. So ARM did eventually go back to break even. I put the reversion trade on. And again, all that happened at 151, it was just a read on it. The tape just started reversing and it looked very strong and it was an upward trending stock. So wanted to be able to get out of the way of it. So I did take another leg out there. So fortunately, when it got back to break even, we were able to stay net positive on it. But getting VWAP on ARM today is going to require something extreme, like maybe the Fed at 2 o'clock. You know, like that's the other thing. Like all of these moves, you got to watch out because at 130, you want to be making sure you take some profits because some of these things could get very different. Qualcomm just went red, and Elon Musk just said in the chat, Qualcomm next day drop. This is not the first time it's done this. I was just basically pointing this out in the aftermarket show because we've seen Qualcomm do this before, where when it goes up on earnings, if it doesn't hold initial support and the next day it's underneath that support, it just tends to bleed. So no matter how good things look, there's Qualcomm. It's trying to catch a bid right now, but unfortunately, Qualcomm did it again.
I mean, I appreciate all that kind talk there. Thank you, Anurag, and everybody else there for the comments about how impressive this trade was. But I mean, I just wish we had more impressive trades earlier, and then we would be actually up right now. We have to wait for this to settle down. We'll see where it goes. But another out right there on that upside. We just had, we always try to put on not like a maximum crazy amount of shares or anything like that, but we do try to put on shares there at the beginning of the day. So when we get that initial drop down, it's a good thing we were patient with it all the way down here. So, and we just didn't want to not that there's going to be like a sour taste in our mouth or anything like that, but we got to be really careful when you're trading, right? And I think that's something to just make sure that you have the right risk, the right everything. I want to thank you for the respect there on that and noticing about this trade. So it did make a big difference to my net today. So thank you for noticing that, and that's just part of the trade, right? All right, so then the trade of the day. So look, let me just go over this, and then we'll get over to what's for lunch, the most important segment that you will see today. All right, so here it is right here. Look, we missed this first trade, but it's not like it wasn't written on here. I mean, we could have just crossed a little bit higher. You could have got long into this name. So 290 Tesla, boom. IBIT doesn't get there. Palantir, 54 dip. So that's $1 in the money. There's NVIDIA, 146.50. So they're all there. The Moderna long is a trade. We're out of that one. No good there today for mRNA. So we'll go L on mRNA. We'll go L early on Palantir, obviously, make it back late. And then NVIDIA is going to be the hot dog cannon of the day for me. So that'll be a good one there into the close. We'll just wait to figure it all out, but I really like NVIDIA. It is dripping down a little bit. We'd said that we would get some out on the high side. Let's actually get some out right now. So here comes NVIDIA. We will take this opportunity to get some out, which we just did there at 97. So take that, get it out, and now we'll work on it, and we'll tell you what's for lunch. All right, what's for lunch today? I'm looking for the first time right now. Oh my gosh. If you said something about chicken, then you are correct. Because today we have roast. I feel like I'm saying the same thing every day around here nowadays. But actually, that might not be true. Roasted herb chicken leg. All right. Sometimes we get barbecue chicken. I like the jerk chicken, the good one. Roasted herb chicken leg, baked sweet and yellow potatoes. Steamed green beans. I love green beans, actually.
I love
salad with cherry tomatoes, cucumber, mushrooms, and sweet peppers. Have a good day. Thank you so much. That is what is for lunch.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Around here, yeah. Hopefully I got the tuna topper again. But remember, we have the brisket. So
yeah, we're doing briskets, but the salad doesn't even matter today. Oh, that's good. See, good. Because now we can look forward to a little bit of brisket. Don't have to worry about what the salad is going to be because oftentimes we just get whatever was yesterday. For
I'm having problems with auto cancels too a little bit. I've just noticed.
Okay. I've noticed the same thing. It is what it is, but it's one of those things you can try to manage, but every now and then. So I'm back into Micron. I just wanted to quickly go over this one. I still have eyeballs I mean, Tesla is trying to break 298 again. If it breaks, it'll set up a new trend line. So Micron, the first time, if we come to my chart for a second, only got 2 minutes to go. It's all good. The first time, it couldn't hold prior bar. This time, a little bit of a higher low, so we're back into it. I still believe this play works into 115.
Not this guy again.
But that 115 level on the daily does loom. I'm just going to show you on the old trade ideas chart before we get ourselves out of here.
I'm still trying to go. I'm still trying to go to. Go ahead, Neil.
No, it's a play into 115. 115 is its own level, triple top on the daily. So if it gets to 115 out of this and looking for a re-entry into Micron, which is only up 1%, but it's aiming for that triple top on the daily. The brisket's locked in.
But you have a temporary problem, and that is that I'm going to go do some swimming and then come back around 12:15. Is that fine for you, Randall? If not, then you can take El Robo Spracklet. I shouldn't say his last name. Tell Rob over to get some if you want. But I'll be back. I'll be back. So when I'm back.
We got the salad before anyway.
Got the salad? Yeah, I got the
salad. We're locked and loaded already.
Oh, we're locked and loaded. So just letting you know, Randy seemed a little disappointed there. I was not able to go yesterday. The trading was insane, so I wanted to make sure that we were here for that yesterday. Is Tesla's going to break
98?
I might not be able to go then anyways. If Tesla's going to
if Tesla's at 300, I mean.
And I'm right here right now. You're going to have your time to take the mic there, Obi. You don't worry about it. Obi in fine form right here today. He's like, we'll be swimming in Tesla. He's saying all this stuff. This guy never quits. And we love Obi and Joe coming through very, very soon. We want to thank Obi again. Fills in for me, Neil, Sharif, absolutely everybody.
You'll get him all week.
This guy must like money. All right, but thank you, Obi, again for filling in for us as you go. And again, look, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We've been really, really blessed to be able to find guys like Joe and Obi and Satay and Sharif and Adara to join us here. So, make sure you do that. JPM is dumping again. Is that
really
true? JP Morgan.
That's not good.
Chase 238. So I didn't sell any of this position yesterday or anything like that. I didn't really do any portfolio adjustments or anything yesterday. So that might have been a mistake, selling at the top. But if you sold Tesla at the top, then you would be saying what?
I sold CrowdStrike.
Right there. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So it's a little bit of portfolio management there, selling of CrowdStrike.
It's flat. No, I sold it because I like Palo Alto better, and I've been thinking that for a while, and I was looking for an excuse to get out of it and then reallocate that money on the next available dip into Palo Alto, although I'm kind of getting feels on some other names if we get some dips recently. Okay, so a couple of things. It's already 11 o'clock.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tesla broke 298, but it's back underneath. I guess that's the only real update. So if it cannot hold on to this trend, I think you could see a 295. We'll play it by ear. I mean, 295 is where it broke out last time. 296 or every even dollar is going to be in play. But you know what's up? And it is time for, it's not Sharif and Sataya. It is literally the opposite because it is Joe. It is Joe followed with or alongside of Obi. So welcome to the new midday. It is options numero uno of what is going to be a trilogy, promised by Joe, or maybe I just said it.
At least will be a sequel.
There will at least be a sequel and maybe 2 or 3 after that.
Trilogy.
Well, I'm guaranteeing a trilogy.
Okay.
Because Joe's reliable like that. So let's go on over to Learn to Trade.
Did you say trilogy? He did not. See? So now you're
doing it now. He just said he answers to the people. He's doing a trilogy now. Go get him, boys. We'll be back at 2 o'clock for the Fed. We'll actually probably be on a few minutes early.
Probably not. Probably yes, actually.
Usually we do.
We are 45.